Customer first, safety always. It's not just a tagline, it's the Watco way. By focusing on safety, each and every day they build a future by protecting their customers, team members, community, and the environment. When Watco moves commodities by rail, river, and road, at home or across North America and Australia, their priority is to ensure that they deliver their loads safely and on time. Watco wishes all area teams a safe and successful season.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even signs for my business. CDL really is one company that has a solution for about everything in my home and business. Learn more at cdlsolution.com.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
This is Coach's Corner on ESPN 100.7. It's time to talk some Columbus Titan football. It's brought to you each week by Mike Carpino Ford and Commerce Bank, as we're joined by the Titan head coach Dan Grundy. And Coach took on a very big and physical Baxter team last week. You guys were a little beat up, had some players out, and you responded with a big win to kick off district play, 41-0 overall. How do you feel like you played?
I was really proud of our kids, because like I said, we were limping into it, lots of injuries and kids moving around different positions, and especially defensively. I don't know. I think we gave up one first down, and it was on a penalty. And I was really impressed with our defense and how they played and making sure that they kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. Man, it was a lot of fun to watch that. Offensively, we had a couple. They really did a great job of scheming us and blitzed a lot. So really, we had to open up our passing game a little bit, and I think we had 4 passing touchdowns. And I was really proud of Ridge and where he put the ball and how he played. So, like I said, it's kind of nice going into, now, this is every game is huge now at this point. So knowing that we're kind of evening out our run and pass game a little bit is kind of good to know going forward.
Well, you had a couple of guys out on the offensive line. How did that unit play with a couple of backups in there?
They didn't do bad. Caden Soper's played defensive end for us, and we made him play tackle last week. And he had a pretty good game. He's an active kid, and he's never going to turn down a challenge. So he did well. Bryson Haas, who's been backing up Sam and Nate all year, and we've been getting him in anyway, he was able to kind of go in and fill a gap too, and which has been nice. So, we were able, Nate Moyer and Tucker Coble, who've been on the offensive line all year long, didn't either one play offensive line last week, and we're going to have them both back tonight. And so that's exciting that we were able to get some other guys some reps in case we need it. And then now you can kind of go back to your first 5 that we've had, and knowing that we've got depth behind them, man, that's always a great thing when you get down this time of year.
We're talking to Dan Grundy, the head coach of the Columbus Titans. You also mentioned you had a couple of sophomores starting on the defensive side, particularly on the back end, filling in for Kel Smith. And you mentioned on the show last week that's how he got his first start as a sophomore, filling in for somebody that was injured. I know just one first down on a penalty, and you pitched a shutout, but how did that unit perform last week?
They did really well. Our secondary I was really impressed with because they did a great job filling on run when they had to, but they also didn't get surprised with play action. So that tells me that they were doing things right with their eyes. And like I said, Jared Graham had 2 interceptions taking over for Cale Smith last week, and so I know his confidence is really, really high. And like you said, you just never always tell the kids you never know when their opportunity's coming, but that doesn't resonate with a high school kid until that actually opportunity comes. And so as long as they prepared themselves for whatever could happen, and then that opportunity gets there, I'm glad to see when they can take advantage of it. So I was very happy for Jared and how he played last week, and know that he obviously gives us depth in the secondary going forward too. But yeah, defensively, we like I said, pitching a shutout against a Baxter team that I think is a lot better. The score is not is not an indication of where they're at compared to where we're at. I feel like they're a much better team than what happened last week. We probably just got a few breaks here and there, but for the most part, they're a good football team. So that was something I was very proud of our defense pitching a shutout against them.
We got a big matchup in Class 4A Division II District 4. In fact, since the split, Columbus and Frontenac have been the two teams to represent this district each and every year. Frontenac comes in, coach 4-3, kind of been an up and down roller coaster season. What do the Raiders do that concern you?
Well, just the main three athletes they have with the running back, quarterback, and then obviously the Ginnivan. They're big kids. They flat out can run. I mean, Ginnivan's made plays all year where if you can't get him to the ground and he's a big kid, he's going to break it for a touchdown. And see that a few times again on film against Lebec County and obviously against Parsons too. But so getting him tackled once he catches the ball is going to be a main goal of ours. And then, with the other two, I know that the quarterback's not Malikas, but at the same time, he's pretty athletic as well, and he can throw the ball, probably as well, if not a little better than Malikas. He maybe doesn't get around as well as Brandon did, but he still can make you hurt the pocket. There's a lot of plays that they have that he's just scrambling around, and a receiver takes off vertically, and a corner doesn't go with him, and next thing you know, it's 6. So, it makes me nervous for the fact that we got to control those guys, try to limit both their run and pass game, and just try to get them to get a punt and get off the field, and hopefully our offense can do something from there.
What about on the defensive side of things? What do they do that you think could give you some problems tonight?
Well, last year Ginnivan had a good game against us defensively, playing a defensive end, so he's always a threat. We like our two tackles with Nate Moyer and Sam Eddington. I think it's going to be a great test for them tonight, and I think they'll live up to it. Obviously, you have a free safety with the Wilbur kid that can fly around, make a lot of tackles, and so you got to be leery of him. And like I said, the linebackers like to fill and fill hard. So, I think we match up pretty well. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. And like I said, hopefully we can just put enough drives together to have a little bit of cushion at the end, but I'm not going to be guaranteeing it, that's for sure.
It's cliche when you talk about big games, but you can go back several years in this rivalry with Columbus and Frontenac, and whether it's you guys that win or they win, it always seems like the team that plays good in the trenches. And I know everybody's probably rolling their eyes, but that is true. If you block well and you tackle well on the offensive defensive line, that gives you a chance to win.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Last year, we had them on our field, and I think they were the better team. Don't get me wrong. I felt like they were last year. But we played extremely well up front, and next thing you know, we've got a 1-point game in the fourth quarter, and we're able to hang around. But then that being said, in the fourth quarter, Malikas took over and had about, I think, 10 carries on their last drive to work out a first down or work out several first downs and run out the clock. So you're exactly right. We controlled it enough to where we were able to stay in the game, but at the same time, they did what they had to do at the end of the game to take it over, and that's what always happens. And we had a big game 2 weeks ago, and that's exactly what happened in the first quarter. Glen owned the line of scrimmage, and next thing you know, we're down 12-0, and then from then on, it was a pretty even game. But you've always got to prepare yourself for winning that game up front, because that's just where everything starts.
When kids like Malikas graduate, do you send them a graduation card, Coach?
I say about anything. Between him and PJ last year, man, it was just glad to see some of those kids leave, that's for sure.
And I'm sure many of the coaches in the league felt the same way when Jace McDowell graduated from Columbus. So
yeah, there's going to be a few kids we have this year that people are going to be glad they're gone next year. I guarantee that.
Are you healthy heading into this matchup? I know you had some kids out last week, and you expect them back this week?
Yeah, everybody except Cale. Cale's got to go one more week before he can get casted, but everybody else should be good to go.
Columbus Titan head coach Dan Grundy, thanks for the time and good luck.
No problem. Thanks, Mike.
Does your current checking account pay you up to $15 per month? With Common Sense Checking at University Bank, you can earn up to $15 per statement cycle, 10 cents for each swipe after the first 15 swipes. Qualifying is so easy. Simply have one direct deposit or auto payment plus 15 debit card purchases each statement cycle and a $100 opening deposit. Stop by the bank for more information about our Common Sense Checking. Then swipe and save. It's convenience that pays at University Bank. Branch GMB. Member FDIC.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers in town or cross country. Larry Barrett has emergency wrecker service for all accidents, 24-hour towing. Been in an accident? Then call the pros. They have quality auto body repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to barrettbodyframe.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
Hi, this is Dr. Brent Cousins with SEK Urgent Care. When you're sick, when you're injured, or when you just don't feel like yourself, SEK Urgent Care is here for you. Let our skilled providers treat your non-life-threatening illness or injury at a fraction of the time and cost of an ER visit. Located at the corner of Centennial and Broadway in the Meadowbrook Commons, open 7 days a week for your convenience. SEK Urgent Care, where your family and time matter. Find us fast on names and numbers.
Barone's Food Service Incorporated wishes the best of luck to all area athletic teams this season. It has been their pleasure to provide great quality food products to area schools, colleges, and universities in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Barone's Food Service is proud to be a fourth-generation family-owned and operated business with over 80 years of service to their customers, employees, families, and communities. Good luck to all area teams from Barone's.
It's time for the Frontenac Coaches Corner. I'm Rob Strand, talking with Raiders head coach Mark Smith, and the Raiders improved to 4-3 overall. 1-0 in district play with a 44-0 shutout win at Parsons last Friday. And, Coach, you got off to a good start, and it kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, we definitely got off to a good start. Our kids played with a lot of confidence. It was kind of a weird start. There was no pregame music, and our kids were just kind of quiet, so I was kind of nervous about how we get off to a start. But we were ready to play, and it was definitely our most complete game all year on all three phases of the game in football, with offense, defense, and special teams.
And you put that touchdown on the board early and followed that up with a field goal by Trey Harris, and that's a nice 9-0 start, and then kind of took control from there.
Yeah, it was only 9-0 at the end of the first quarter, I believe, and they were moving the ball a little bit on us, but our defense was doing a great job getting off the field. They had such a tremendous athlete at quarterback. He just makes you nervous every play, but our defense was very disciplined. But I was like, man, we got to break something open here, and we finally did in that second quarter, and we got rolling. I think we had 27 points in the second quarter, which is tremendous, and it gave us a big lead at halftime.
And again, you mentioned the quarterback, talented kid. You kind of hold your breath when he has the football because looked like a few times he was hemmed in and he made something happen.
Oh, he does, and Coach Hurley does a great job getting him out of the pocket, playing to his strengths, running him. But our linebackers and our defensive line put a lot of pressure on him. Secondary did a tremendous job covering all night. We gave up some short passes. That's what we wanted to do, make them throw the short stuff and come up and make tackles. So our defense played extremely well, got a few turnovers, and then offense complimented them. And then I think Trey had 5 touchbacks on kickoff after touchdown, so that just started them back on the 20, which is huge for our defense.
Yeah, we talk about that. That's usually something that a high school team doesn't have the luxury of, but, it goes into the end zone. You got that automatic touchback coming out to the 20. That's a good defense right there.
Oh, that's one of our strengths for our defense right there, yeah. Team that has to go 80 is a lot harder to score than going 60 or 50 yards if we have a bad kicker. So we've been very fortunate to have Trey the last few years, and I think our defense has kind of thanked him for that, I believe. And
up next for the Raiders at home, you take on the Columbus Titans, a team that comes in at 6-1, 1-0 in district play, and coming off a 41-0 shutout win over Baxter Springs. And boy, the Titans tough. They only lost to Galena, and it's going to be a battle.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a great challenge for our kids. This will put the winner of this game in the driver's seat for a district championship. Columbus has just had a great winning tradition since they joined the CNC. I think they won 2 or 3 CNC championships in the last 5 years. So, great challenge for us. They have a great running back, great coaches, a big offensive line, a veteran quarterback, just smart players. They know how to win, but I also believe that about us. So we've had 4 battles the last 4 years, and I don't expect anything different this year.
And again, the Titans, a physical team. They like to run the football, got some talent in that backfield, but also in that line.
Oh, definitely. It starts up front. They're big. They know what they're doing. They want to run the ball, like you said, but they're going to take their play-action shot plays and with the receivers and athletes out wide. So our D-backs got to be disciplined, just do their job, and we got to contain the run as much as possible and get them in some obvious passing situations.
And you get to the end of the regular season, middle of district play, you're always concerned about health, and I guess you're kind of healing up after some issues mid-season.
We are. We still have a few guys out with eligibility issues and a few things, but we're pretty lucky for week 8 to only have a few minor injuries. So everybody's battling that right now. I'm sure Columbus has a few as well. So it's just going to come down to who can control the line of scrimmage and who can take care of the ball on Friday, I believe.
Frontenac coach Mark Smith, thanks for talking with us. Good luck at home against Columbus. We'll talk to you after the game.
If you're in the mood for shopping, visit Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. Pittsburgh's original one-stop shopping center has a lot to offer. A great variety of clothing and shoes for the whole family, a large selection of gifts, sporting goods, events, and entertainment, plus terrific places to eat, and you can enjoy the newest movies in 8 theaters. Shop the comfortable and convenient atmosphere at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall. There's always something happening at Pittsburgh's Meadowbrook Mall.
Advanced technology, comprehensive quality care. That's Canar Eye Care. We have the newest technology, but we never lose sight of what's most important, our patients. Eye care has changed dramatically in recent years, and we've been there for you every step of the way. At Canar Eye Care, patients spend time with doctors. Total eye care from contact lenses, including bifocal contacts, treatment of disease, and surgical co-management. Canar Eye Care, the clear choice.
Find them fast in names and numbers. Jocksnitch has all your hometown needs to get you geared up for the football game. New Pitt State gear has already arrived, such as hats, tees, sweatshirts, license plates, koozies, and even tees for your dog. We are your stop to make before headed to tailgate. There's only one Gorilla Nation, and there's only one Gorilla Gear headquarters, Jocksnitch Sporting Goods. Check us out in downtown Pittsburgh and Parsons.
You got the sports look of today. Sporting goods from Jocksnitch.
Back to the Raiders Sports Complex as the Frontenac Raiders host the Columbus Titans in a district battle tonight. And looking at Columbus this year, ranked number 3 in the state by kpreps.com. Offensively, Columbus, they like to run the spread offense mainly. They will do some I formation, but mostly out of the spread. They do tend to run the ball more than throw it out of that spread offense. Their offensive line tends to be not quite as physical as far as firing out. They kind of shield you and use angles very well to create cracks for Keenan Stanley, to run through. He's extremely big, extremely fast. If he gets into the open field, it's a lot of trouble. It's interesting, though, that they don't try to get sweeps with him or anything like that. It's all in between the tackles for Stanley. In the passing game, they do a lot of screen passes, and then if they are going to throw something else, it's usually deep. They're looking for the big play, trying to get Stanley deep. They had another wide receiver who was hurt this week. You may notice that in the Coach's Corner interview. Cale Smith, the senior, he's injured, not playing tonight. He's their other big threat on the outside. So you end up having to look for Stanley either out of the backfield or lining up out wide. And if that's the case, more than likely he's going deep, something the Raiders will definitely have to watch out for. Defensively for the Columbus Titans, they're going to come in a 4-4 base. The front really 7 or 8, extremely aggressive up front. They get off the ball very well with their defensive line. Sam Eddington, the leader on that defensive line, very good up front. The senior has been good for 2 or 3 years now. He leads them on defense. Their linebackers read and react quite well. Maybe not quite as athletic as some of the linebackers that Columbus has had in years past. Cornerbacks and coverage-wise, so far what we've seen this year has been a little bit of a bigger cushion. So possibly the short passing game could be open up for the Frontenac Raiders. So the keys for tonight, from Frontenac point of view on offense, to me, offensive line is extremely important. They've got to be able to block that defensive line and those linebackers, or it's going to be a long game for them. And then the turnover battle. They cannot put the ball on the ground. That's been the biggest bugaboo for the Frontenac offense this year. In the games that they've lost, they've had multiple turnovers in all of those games that have either stopped drives or given the other team short fields and given up scores. Defensively for Frontenac, you have to contain Stanley, and that means tackle really well. When he breaks through that line, the linebackers either have to be there, or you're looking at the free safety coming down, which has been Wilbert most of this year. He's been a pretty good tackler from there. The one thing that worries me with that is if he gets too happy to get up into the field, play action pass, you can get the deep ball over the top of him. I also think that it could be key is Andrew Mays on the defensive line. He is a smaller defensive lineman, but he's extremely quick. He has played very well this year, getting penetration all game long, and that is the key for the defense for the Raiders, is they've got to find penetration, get to Stanley before he can get going, and possibly turn Columbus one-dimensional. For the Columbus Titans on offense, they're going to want to get Stanley going. If they can run the ball effectively with him and get some big plays with him, sets up everything else that they want to do, and you've got a real problem. So they're going to want to get that running game going first and foremost. And defensively for Columbus, that defensive line and linebackers, they've got to contain everything at the line of scrimmage. Penetration against Raiders will mess up not just the run game, but also the passing game. You don't want Peyton Brown having to run for his life back there. So it's all about up front in this game. So those are the keys for tonight, and Rob Strand has joined me after the nice ceremony for senior night here at the sports complex. And
short 18 years ago, I didn't think I'd see this night.
You're breathing a little hard.
Yeah,
you know?
it's every year it gets harder to climb up the steps. That's for doggone sure. But yeah, I enjoyed that, and of course now task at hand, the Raiders and the Titans, and I know you've covered it like a blanket. This ought to be a good one, and of course you're talking district ramifications, also on down the road the playoffs, and these two teams have gotten after it the last few years, and it's a battle.
Well, it's turned into an instant rivalry that I don't think anybody can really predict. This is the fourth year. In the 3 previous games, all physical battles, all good games, all coming down to the end. And interestingly enough, the road team has won every game in this series since they started to play it. So hopefully we can change that tonight, and the Raiders can come away with the victory. But it's just kind of interesting, and it's almost like the underdog has won or come close to every single game as well.
And if you remember 2 years ago here, Columbus got off to the fast start.
Hugely.
And they were looking to bury the Raiders, and they made a run. They got them a little scared, and then they stretched it out at the end. But that was a knockdown drag out like the other two were, and expect more of the same tonight.
The 2 games in Columbus have just been phenomenal football games. I mean, just knockdown, drag out fights, and come down to the very end. Just been fantastic football games. I don't expect the same tonight.
And as we mentioned, this is game number 8 and the second game in the districts. And of course, next week Frontenac will travel down to Baxter Springs, and Columbus will take on Parsons. And that'll wrap up the regular season. They head into post play the following week, and it's that season. And you probably mentioned, of course, at halftime we'll take a look at some of the other goings on with sub-state volleyball coming up tomorrow, and just a lot of activities, and we'll kind of keep you up to date what's going on as far as the school goes and the other student athletes. And a busy time, fun time of year. The weather's cooperating. A little breezy today, but one thing, it is dry, and that's the main thing. And pretty game number 8 of the season. Sometimes it's been kind of a potpourri on what we've gotten weather-wise, and no complaints this season as far as the weather goes. And we'll come back. We're nearing kickoff, and we'll come back after we take about a 2-minute break, and You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
At Lindbergh Pharmacy, we care about your health. From a qualified and caring staff to services like our Time My Meds and MedPack programs, Lindbergh Pharmacy provides personalized service you can count on. Refill prescriptions online at lindberghpharmacy.com or on your smartphone with our free Lindbergh Pharmacy mobile app. You can also sign up for our text alert program and we'll text or email you when your prescription is ready. Can't make it to us? We'll deliver your medications right to your door. Lindbergh Pharmacy, now 2 locations to serve you.
When you get engaged and need to pay for the wedding, when you have a baby and need to start that college savings account, it seems like the best moments in life can come with some real financial challenges. What's yours? At Commerce Bank, we find solutions so you can focus on enjoying life. Visit us online at commercebank.com or at a branch near you. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted. Member FDIC.
And the national anthem by the Frontenac Raider Marching Band prior to kickoff of this CNC League and district battle between the Frontenac Raiders and the Columbus Titans. And again, the Raiders play on the road next week, next Friday, go down to Baxter Springs to take on the Lions. And again, the Columbus Titans will battle Parsons to wrap up the regular season. And boy, a nice crowd here, a big game, and of course senior night, and got through those activities. And if there's any distractions involved in that, we're past them and we're ready to play some football. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll be looking at some other games tonight in the area as well. Then in the other side of the district, Baxter visiting Parsons tonight. We'll try to keep an eye out for that score. Other teams in the CNC, Burlington is at Girard, which likely will dictate the winner of that district. Pittsburgh High, they are at Wichita North. You have Riverton at Cherryville, Oswego at Colgan, Galena at Southeast, and then some SEK League battles. You have Coffeyville at Independence and Chanute at Labette.
So those are some of the other games in the area. And of course, Frontenac Raiders, all the games home and away live right here on 103.5 FM. And also we stream the contest at ESPN1007.com so you can enjoy Frontenac, Pittsburgh, Colgan, and Girard. So you get your fill of football, and boy, we're getting toward the end of the regular season here, and it has flown by. And you know, some parts of the season get to drag a little bit, but it seems like it was only yesterday they were, you know, lifting weights during the summer and looking forward to the start of the season, and here we are.
Yeah, it has been a very quick season this year, and it's the players now heading out for the coin toss. If you don't mind, we'll do the starting lineups real quick. For the Columbus Titans on offense, at center is sophomore Bryce Davis. The 2 guards, senior Sam Eddington and junior Tyler Stice. The 2 tackles, senior Bryson Hawes and senior Nathan Moyer. Starting tight end, junior Caden Soper. 2 wide receivers, junior Jared Graham and senior Dakota Sears. Starting fullback is senior Zach Porter. Starting tailback is senior Keenan Stanley. Starting quarterback is senior Ridge Smith. For the Frontenac Raiders on offense, starting at center, senior Jordan Ishimura. The 2 guards, senior Dylan Toyle and senior Nathan Kaufman. 2 tackles, senior Trey Harris and senior Cal Strand. At tight end, senior Zach Roseborough. 2 receivers, senior Brock Ginnivan and junior Brendan Ishimura. Starting fullback is senior Cooper Loy. Tailback, senior Jake Wilbert. And the quarterback for the Frontenac Raiders is senior Peyton Brown.
And the captain's at the center of the field, White Hat Toggington for the coin toss. And it looks like the Raiders won the toss. Defer will decide to start the second half, and I got that correctly. And the Raiders going to defend the East goal at the Raiders Sports Complex. Yeah, they won the toss, deferred, and they will kick off. Will the Raiders? They cut captains out there for Columbus Titans: Cale Smith, along with Zach Porter, also Sam Eddington and Tucker Cole. The Frontenac Raiders: Bronton Ginnivan, Peyton Brown, also Jordan Ishimura and Cal Strand. And we're ready for football. The Raiders in their home black jerseys, black pants with the black helmets, white numerals and trim. The Titans in their road white jerseys and pants with the red helmets and red numerals and trim, and should be a good one, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it is rather windy out there tonight, and it's straight out of the south, so it's a crosswind on this field. Noticed in warm-ups with punts and things like that was having an effect. So kickoffs, you know, if you get that ball up in the air, it's going to move the ball from the south to the north, so across the field. We'll see if that has much of effect. I'm wondering as well with the deep passing game of Columbus, as they like to go deep on those throws, how much the wind may affect those passes as well. So be interesting to see if the wind plays any part in the game tonight.
And earlier, pretty much a crosswind, and it was getting after it pretty good. And look at the flag. Yeah, it's still coming out of the south pretty hefty right now. And again, the Raiders come in at 4-3 and 1-0 district play. The Titans at 6-1, 1-0 district play, and only lost to Galena. And barn burner down at Galena, as the Raiders did early on in the season. And so we're about ready to do it to it as Trey Harris tees it up at the 40-yard line. And again, dropping back to receive the kick for the Columbus Titans will be Keenan Stanley.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see what the Raiders do with this kick. Normally you kick it deep, and if it goes into the end zone at all, of course it's a touchback. But if he doesn't get it to the end zone, you're kicking it to Stanley in the open field. I'm not sure the Raiders want to do that.
Here we go. Raiders again defending the east goal here in the first quarter. And Harris end over end, and it's coming to the near side inside the 10 and taken by Patrick. That is Cameron Mitchell, and he takes it up the middle, and he is dropped at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and that was a directional kick, kicking it to the right side and pinned him really well towards that sideline. You limit the field as far as where he can run it. An excellent kick, made it down to probably the 6 or 7 yard line. So really good kick by Harris, and then Roseboro with the tackle on the kick coverage.
And the Titans to start 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. And Ridge Smith, senior quarterback. Even Stanley, one of the running backs, to his left, and to his right is Grayson Walden as they flank the quarterback. Got wideouts to both sides, slot left in motion, left to right. And keeping the football is Smith, and he is stood up right about the line of scrimmage and may be able to battle forward for about a yard.
Yeah, and good discipline. That was Ishimura at the linebacker spot. You know, he didn't go with the fake to Stanley, stayed home, and he was right in the hole waiting on the quarterback.
And it looks like the defensive line kind of stood up the offensive line there, kind of at a standstill, and Smith was only able to wedge it out about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 for the Titans from their own 22-yard line. Smith out of the gun, and there's a give. That is to Stanley, and he breaks it up the middle, and boy, they're trying to strip the ball carrier, and he's able to drag the tacklers out to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, and this time the linebacker on that side got caught up in the wash and wasn't able to scrape to the outside enough to get into that hole. And, you know, that's just kind of what they do. They just kind of, the linemen for Columbus just kind of get in your way. They're not necessarily going to push you back, but they're going to get in your way and use angles extremely well.
Titans with a 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Coming out wide to the left side is Sean Robinson. Got a wide out right, also a slot. And there's a give. That's a dive stand. Boy, he's tripped up and dropped. And getting the penetration. Was that Clothier in there?
Yeah, Clothier filled the hole and got in low, got into the legs. You know, Stanley is a big kid. You know, he's not your small scat back by any means. He's a big guy. So getting into his legs, very good idea. Clothier able to shoot through the hole and trip him up.
So we'll give him a yard on that one. 2nd and 9 for the Titans from their own 36-yard line. And Smith out of the gun, flanked by the running backs, motion right to left. And there's a give to Sears, tries to turn left. There's a hold, and he is dropped at the 38, and either a block in the back or a hold, something on that edge.
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely a block in the black / clipping. The wide receiver came in for a crackback block, but the man he was going to block hadn't turned to run to the outside, was still facing to the inside, and he just hit him square in the back.
So that penalty will go against the Titans.
That one pretty obvious. Couldn't really miss that one.
And the flag resting back at the 33-yard line.
And they marked that off from the spot of the foul.
I'm going to put back to the 24. So it'll be 2nd and about 21.
Yeah, so if they're thinking pass game here, screen is a big-time play for them, and all goes is the other thing they like.
2nd and 21 for the Titans from their own 25-yard line. Trips right. Oh, he turned the wrong way, but a little hitch pass, and it is complete. And on the reception is Clay Saporito, but he was stopped out at the 29-yard line.
Yeah, good pursuit. And I tell you, there was another block in the back. The linebacker going, Clothier, going out to make the play, and the offensive lineman just hit him square in the back. To me, pretty obvious, and that's not in the trenches where that's legal. You know, he was outside the end. So I'm not sure why exactly that wasn't a penalty for another illegal block.
3rd and 16 Titans from their own, right about the 29-yard line. Single blocking back in the backfield with Smith, dropping back to pass, some pressure, going along right side. Got a man open, it is complete, and on the receiving end is Tommy Schallenberger, tripped up and brought down at the 36-yard line, got past the defender.
Yeah, beat the safety, and I think the safety was expecting the all go, and then he broke it off to the outside, kind of like a flag route, not straight out, but kind of up the field, but out towards the sideline, and that gave him the space. A really nice throw by Smith that led him perfectly, and a big play for Columbus.
Titans 1st and 10 from the Raiders 36, and there's a give straight up the middle, and moving the pile down to the 32-yard line. On the carry that time was Walden.
Yeah, but boy, we mentioned they like to go long with those throws, and they had about 4 receivers all going long, and they just had one pop open. Everybody else pretty well covered.
2nd and 6 Titans from the Raiders 32-yard line. Smith out of the gun, running back behind him. Quick hitch left side to Stanley, and coming up and dragging him down is Ishamira. Nice open field tackle, Brendan Ishamira, as he ended up keeping it to about a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, that's a good play by Ishamira, because you got Stanley, who's got him on speed and size. He's given him a cushion, so they throw the quick pass. It's up to him one-on-one to get him down. And quite honestly, Ishamira has not been the greatest tackler so far this year. So the fact that he got right in and was aggressive on Stanley and got him down to limit the gain, that's a good job.
Titans 3rd and 3 from the Raiders 29-yard line. Out of the eye, the running backs. There's a give to Stanley, the tailback. Boy, he shakes one tackler, but not the 2nd and 3rd, and they throw him back about the 43-yard line, and they threw the beanbag, and it's going to be a loss of some yardage, a couple of yards at least.
Why are they?
I don't know. He bounced off the original tackler and started back and
yeah, it was Ginnivan. Ginnivan got to him first and got a good pop on him and spun him around, but then he took a couple steps backwards. It's like they gave him forward progress to the initial hit.
So a 4th and 5 for the Titans. Football shy of the Raiders' 31-yard line. Got one wide out right. Got a couple of wide outs coming left. Smith in the gun, flanked by blocking backs. Sears motion left to right, gives Stanley straight up the middle, and no, he got knocked down at the 30-yard line. Maybe the 29, ball goes over.
Yeah, good discipline up front. Linebackers filled the hole nicely. You had Wilbert coming up as well. Filled the hole really well, limited everything. Now, the defense gets a great stop right there. The only thing that I'm a little concerned with is not a lot of penetration. You saw defensive linemen go straight into offensive linemen rather than hit gaps. We'll see if it's an adjustment the Raiders make.
Raiders start 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Wide to the left goes Ishamira. Slot left is Wilbert. Wide to the right, Ginnivan. Brown out of the gun with Lloyd the blocking back. Going in motion left to right. Quick hitch, right side, Ginnivan complete. The defender falls down. He dances out across the 40, out to the 41's, got the first down.
Yeah, and again, big cushion, so they had to throw the quick hitch. But, you know, if you were listening to the pregame, you heard Coach Grundy talk about how you've got to tackle well on the outside on Ginnivan, and they had about 4 guys really flow to the football. So Ginnivan, yeah, the corner fell down, but there was other guys coming to make sure that he didn't turn it into a bigger play.
1st and 10 Raiders from their own 41-yard line. Again, Brown out of the gun. Running back behind him, that's Wilbert. They give it to Wilbert. Got some room up the middle. Oh, he's tripped up and brought down at the 46 after a gain of 5. Kind of shoe-top tackler. Wilbert had more.
Yeah, and they got penetration, Columbus did, with that defensive line, but they all missed. They went for the first back through. It was kind of a little cross-buck action. Fake one way, give it to Wilbert coming the other, and he went to the way the penetration wasn't. And, yeah, you're right. One block stays on just a split second longer, and he'd have broken that one for a big one.
2nd and 5, Raiders from their own 46-yard line. Motion right to left is Roseboro. There's the give. That's to Wilbert. Sweep to the left side. He's got room across midfield. 45-40. He's loose along the far sideline. 30. Cuts back, and he's tripped up and brought down inside the 25 down at the 22-yard line.
Well, and a great cut, because I thought he was going to try to take this all the way out, but he made the proper read, planted a foot, and just shot through the hole. Broke a couple of tackles, just arm tackles, though, and did a great job running for a huge gain. So, well, I tell you, the Raiders coming out ready to play tonight.
So 1st and 10, Frontenac at the Columbus 23-yard line. Wilbert comes to the near side. And try and see who is in there is spelled Wilbert in that backfield. Right out of the gun. And that is Rayo, and there's a give. That is to Loy, and he is stopped for no gain. They put Ryan Rayo in their Wilbert spot.
Penetration again, and then a little bit of a low snap, and just kind of threw everything off, although even without the low snap, not sure that one was going to get a lot anyway.
2nd and 10, Raiders from their own, or excuse me, from the Titans 24-yard line with 6 minutes left here in a scoreless first quarter. Wide to the right comes Ginneman, wide left is Shamira. Out of the gun, Brown. Blockers to both sides. And looking, there's the hitch right side complete to Ginneman. And shakes the tackler, goes inside the 10-5, touchdown!
Yeah, and this is good athletic ability, but it's also formation. The ball's on the left side of the field. Ginneman's all the way on the numbers on the near side here, so there's a lot of space. They can't get another man over. The linebackers and the safety are caught up in the middle of the field. So he runs the out pattern. It's a good ball and gives him a chance to run. All he has to do is make the corner miss, and there's no way the linebacker and safety are going to get all the way over.
And the extra point attempt coming up. Trey Harris in there out of Wilbert's hold. Gets it down. The kick is up plenty long enough, and it is good. We've got 5:45 left first quarter. Frontenac 7, Columbus nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac Football at 103.5 FM.
Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist. Paynes handles all driveline repairs for cars, trucks, four-wheel drive vehicles, and farm equipment. Paynes can also handle any general machine work and offers 24-hour record service. Call Paynes anytime, 231-3170. Paynes Incorporated is located at the intersection of West McKay and Highway 69 Frontenac Junction. Paynes Incorporated in Frontenac is the driveline specialist.
Proud supporter of Frontenac Athletics.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of two major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
And the kickoff by Trey Harris, driven into the end zone for a touchback. So the Columbus Titans will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line with 5:45 left first quarter in front, a 7-0 lead.
Well, couldn't ask for a much better start for the Raiders. You do give up one big play on defense, but then the defense gets a stop. You get a couple of negative plays in there for Columbus. Offense gets the ball. You get some running game going on, short passing game, and then your big man, Ginnevan, breaks a tackle and takes it for a score. So, well, you just couldn't ask for a better start for the Raiders.
So 1st and 10, Titans from their own 20-yard line. 3 backs there with Ridge Smith, who's in the gun. There's a give to the tailback, and brought down is Walden out at the 23-yard line.
And I think that was Nathan Kaufman in on the tackle, and I think they've got Nathan in at linebacker right now, giving Jordan Ishimura a little bit of a rest. Or no, maybe the Raiders have gone to a 5-man line is what they've done, mixing things up with their defense coming out of the regular 4-4.
2nd and 7, Titans from their own 23-yard line. Motion back left to right. And there's a good boy. Almost lost the football, did Walden. Boy, the handoff up with his shoulder pads, and he did well to get on it and lost a yard or two.
Yeah, and it was Kaufman getting some penetration again, and I'm not sure he got a piece of him or if just kind of the feet got mixed up. It looked like he tripped, but another negative play. So 3rd and long coming up, and boy, if they get another stop here, how big would that be?
4:49 left first quarter. Frontenac 7, Columbus nothing. Titans with a 3rd and 8 from their own 22-yard line. Again, Ridge Smith out of the gun. Single blocking back and behind him. Stanley's right, and he is going to be dragged down. And I believe, was that Ginnivan in on the pressure, and then a couple of other Raiders got in on it, but he was thrown for about a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, Ginnivan with the pressure on the outside, and then they ran a blitz up the middle with Clothier, and Clothier came untouched as well, and both of them got to the quarterback at the same time and just sandwiched him.
So a punting situation for the Titans as they face a 4th and 12 from their own 18-yard line.
You know, and that's the risk that you run when you throw all these long passes. Well, it takes time. You've got to block for a longer period of time. Gives Ginnivan and those other defensive linemen a chance to get to the quarterback.
Good snap, left footer. Boy, he line drives it near side off the side of his foot, and it's going to roll dead in Titan territory at the 44-yard line.
And kicking, honestly, and not to be mean about it or anything, but kicking not the strongest part of Columbus's game, whether it's place kicking or in the punt game. So the Raiders, again, get a great defensive stop, and now you've got tremendous field position, try to get another score, make it a 2-possession game.
Raiders will start 1st and 10 from the Titans' 44-yard line with 3:50 left first quarter. Frontenac 7-0 lead. Going wide left is Ginnivan. Tight to the right side, Roseboro. Couple slots right, Loy along with Wilbert. Also, well, Brown's going to keep the football as he faked it to Wilbert. He spins and he spun down after a gain of only a yard.
Well, and this one just took a long time to develop, and when he tried to bounce, it looked like he was going to have some room, but it just took so long for everything to happen. It's hard to maintain your blocks that long. By the time he got to the outside, the defender was able to shake a block and make a play.
So 2nd and 9 after that 1-yard gain by Brown. Raiders from the Titans' 43-yard line. As wide left goes Brant Chance this time, joined out there by Cade Chastain. Slot to the right side is Loy, and there's give the single setback. Wilbert, and he busts inside the front, loses the football. It's on the ground in a scramble, and the Raiders come up with it, I believe, at the 27.
I believe they do.
The Titans had a good shot at that.
Well, I think he may have had it initially, and then the contact may have broken that loose. Raiders may be a little lucky. They're saying the Columbus player was not down because he may have had his hands on the ball, but good hustle. But boy, right side of the line this time, great job up front. Had a beautiful hole to run through the middle for Wilbert. Now it's that turnover bugaboo. Just got to hold on to that ball.
1st and 10 Raiders. Football resting at the Titans' 27-yard line. Wide to the left goes Alex Johnson. Wide to the right is Cade Chastain. Out of the gun, there's a pitch. Boy, and it's on the ground, and Boy goes back to get it. Boy, they missed on the pitch, and it looked like they had something going on.
Yeah, and that's just a killer. And now Loy's coming off limping. Of course, he's had a foot issue last year and knew he was going to be sore with it this year, and he's coming off limping. Hopefully it's not that same foot injury, but he's on the sideline in quite a bit of pain right now.
And it looked like they had that set up nice as Brown ran the option, and the defender took him, and just looked like the pitch just a tad behind. But Raiders facing a 2nd and 16 from the 34 of the Titans. Rolling right is Brown looking to throw, puts it up, and boy, a little underthrown as the intended receiver made a dive for it.
It was a pretty tight window he was trying to get it into.
Was that Clothier?
Yeah, Clothier coming across the middle. I really thought he may just throw it up tall to Ginnivan, who was down the sideline. He was well covered, but he's got the size advantage. I thought he might give him a chance, let the big man go get it.
3rd and 16 Raiders from the Titans' 34-yard line. Wide right is Ginnivan, joined out there by Ishamira. Tight left, Roseboro. Out of the gun, Brown. Wilbert behind him to the right. That's Clothier. Rolling right is Brown. Pressure, turns the corner, puts it up, and is complete to Ginnivan as he outfought the defender, and he's dragging tacklers inside the 20. Still on his feet down to the 17-yard line, and it looks like he might have gotten the first down.
It's going to be really close. It's right at the sticks. And I've yet to see a signal first down either way. And I'm surprised they're not marking the ball. Oh, they're going to give the Raiders a first down, not going to measure it.
So nice pitch and catch and good effort by Ginnivan to get the first down. The Raiders are going to face a 1st and 10 from the Titans' 17-yard line.
He dragged 4 or 5 guys on that, just bound determined he was going to make that first down.
Clock moving down to 1:45 first quarter. Frontenac 7-0 lead. Wide left goes Chance this time, joined out there by Ishimura. And Roseboro tight right. Run out of the gun. Clothier blocking back to his right. Wilbur behind him. Fakes to Wilbur. Brown looking to pass. Got a man. Oh, he threw it behind the intended receiver, and it's picked off by Jared Graham. And he is brought down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and the pressure got to him. He was I think, probably going to roll out, but got a little bit of pressure, and he's rolling to his left. Didn't quite get the shoulders turned all the way around when he released it, and it was just enough to the inside that the defender was able to make a play on the ball. So the turnover again, a killer for the Raiders.
So 1st and 10, Titans, and they're going to start from their own 24-yard line with 1:23 left first quarter. And Frontenac 7-0 lead. Again, Smith out of the gun, senior quarterback. Stanley behind him, and there's a give to Stanley, and well, he's kind of hemmed in, is able to fight his way out across the 25 to 27-yard line. Both the Raiders went flying there a little late, but I think just play until the whistle, right?
Exactly, and I'd say that was a nice jump cut by Stanley there. The play, really the hole closed up quickly. He made a nice jump cut to his right and was able to make it into a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7, Titans on their own 27-yard line. And they fake the hitch, get the hitch to the right side. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Ridge Smith rose up. Looked like he almost dropped the football, but able to get complete and pick up a couple yards.
Yeah, good pursuit from the inside by the Raiders because, boy, they had one safety out there blocked well. The corner was going to be blocked as well. So, pretty fortunate, I think, by good hustle. The Raiders only gave up a couple yards.
3rd and 5, Titans football at their own 29-yard line. There's movement. No, they didn't break the plane, apparently. Couple blocking backs flanking Smith. There's a direct snap to Walden. He tries to turn left corner, hemmed in and brought. Oh, did they get a face mask?
I don't think so. I think this has got to be an illegal block again. This is really well defensed. Outside contain held very well, and Brendan Ishimura coming up from the corner spot was really aggressive again in trying to help out with the run game. So really well defensed by the Raiders, and it is a block in the back. I would assume the Frontenac would decline this because it would make it 4th down, and there's no way this at their own 31. You wouldn't think there's any way Columbus would go for it. Although I would not be surprised to see some kind of a fake. So everyone needs to be alert.
4th and 3, Titans. They're at their own 31-yard line with, well, the clock's winding down to 5 seconds. And they're going to punt and apparently let the clock run out. That's the end of the first quarter. Frontenac leads Columbus 7-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
If you are injured in an accident or on the job, it is vitally important that you hire the right attorney. Before choosing an attorney, you should make sure they have the resources to fight large corporations or insurance companies. Your attorney should have extensive trial court experience and a track record of success. The Spigarelli Law Firm, with offices in Pittsburgh and Coffeyville, has the experience, resources, and reputation to provide the quality representation your claim deserves. Fred Spigarelli has received the top rating from his peers with the Martindale-Hubbell Independent Rating System. His firm has the resources to hire the experts and physicians needed to properly present your claim. The Spigarelli Law Firm has successfully tried cases for over 40 years and taken numerous cases all the way to the Supreme Court. Call the Spigarelli Law Firm today at 877-409-7931 or visit their website at spigarelli-law.com. You can also find them fast in names and numbers. Be sure to get reliable information when you choose an attorney to represent you.
And the Titans do punt. A nice kick there by Tommy Schallenberger as it rolls out at the Raiders' 16-yard lines. 1st and 10 Frontenac. Raiders will start from their own 16.
Well, the Raiders that time, I think, very wisely had the regular defense out on the field playing punt safe. it's kind of that nebulous area where you might see a fake punt, and I think that's the prudent choice. Then he gets the kick and just hit that jet stream. I swear the wind just kind of rode that wind and got a nice punt out of it. But I think it was the right call by the Raiders to go punt safe.
Wide left goes Brent Chance. Wide right goes Brendan Yashimura. Slot left is Jake Wilbert. Now in motion left to right. There's a snap to give to Wilbert. Tries to turn right corner. Gets a block. Turns the corner. He's got good yardage. 30, 35, 40. Needs a block and knocked out of bounds near the, they're going to say the 38-yard line.
Well, you can see in the running game for the Raiders tonight, they are making a much more concerted effort to try to get to the outside, and they get great seal blocks on the outside. I think it may have been Roseboro and then Cooper Loy, both of them with good hook blocks, sealed their men to the inside, and then the wide receiver had ran 20 yards down the field and then stock blocked, and he had a good block out there too. So well blocked up front, the Raiders are able to get to the corner.
1st and 10, Frontenac, Raiders at their own 39-yard line. Getting out of the gun, Peyton Brown, couple backs with him. They give it to the tailback. Wilbert's got room. He is down at the 45-yard line after a nice gain of 6 on first down.
Yeah, that's the same play. He broke the long run in the first quarter. They send Lloyd to the left. They bring Wilbert back to the right. That little crossbuck action out of the pistol and gets a nice hole again on the right side of the offensive line. Boy, you like 5 yards on first down.
2nd and... yeah, it's been right around 5 for the Raiders from their own 44-yard line. Now Brown under center with Wilbert, the single setback pitch, sweep left side. That is Wilbert. Ducks his shoulder, and it looks like he's stacked up at about the 48-yard line, about a yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, and this is a good cut again. They've been trying to get to the outside, but there was a defender, the linebacker, had read it well and was coming up. He made a nice cut to get the 4 that he got.
So 3rd and a yard for the Raiders from their own 48-yard line with 10.5 remaining here in the first half. In Frontenac, the 7-0 lead. Brown again under center with Wilbert. Single setback behind him, and now a timeout taken by the Raiders. 10:17 left here in the first half. Frontenac, the 7-0 lead. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
Having a confident smile can change everything, and Invisalign makes that decision easy because you can have a stunning smile without most people even knowing you're going through treatment. Saya Smile Center is proud to be a premier provider of Invisalign. Your Invisalign treatment will consist of a series of aligners that you switch out every 2 weeks. Each aligner will gradually shift your teeth perfectly into place, giving you the smile you always dreamed of. Call Saya Smile Center today for your no-cost consultation. Saya Smile Center, 4095 Parkview Drive in Frontenac, 620-231-7242.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard, the Raiders Sports Complex. 10:17 left first half. Frontenac leads Columbus 7-0. Raiders with a 3rd and 1 from their own 48-yard line, and now middle of the field here. You're talking 4-down situation also if they don't get it here. That's, we'll see what happens here on 3rd down and then go from there.
Let's hope we don't have to make that choice.
Running backs in the eye behind Brown, who is under center. Motion right to left. Goes the tight end now. Shifting to the left side is Roseboro, and there's the give, and that is Wilbert's got the first down and into the Titan territory, brought down at the 45, and a gain of another 7 yards.
And the offensive line now starting to limit the penetration. They might not be blowing the defensive line for Columbus back, but they're not allowing near as much penetration. And then running these little off tackle into the outside, you're missing, Eddington in the middle that's getting away from him.
So 1st and 10 Raiders from the Titans' 45-yard line. In under center is Brown with Wilbert, the running back. Pitch, sweep, left side. Boy, another nice cut. And, boy, he turned what was nothing into about a 6, maybe a 7-yard gain.
Well, and that's a case where those linebackers for Columbus, they do read and react very well, but not quite as athletic. So when he made the cut, the linebacker just ended up running right past him, wasn't able to stop with him and make the play, and Wilbert turns it into a nice gain.
And Alex Johnson from the sideline going to take Wilbert's spot in the backfield. He lines up the left of Peyton Brown. The right side is Cooper Loy. Wide right is Ginnivan. Wide left. Chastain, motion left to right, goes Roseboro. Good snap. And Brown's going to keep the football, trying to turn the corner. Gets the corner turned, has the first down before he's run out of bounds.
Well, and that might have been ugly from the get-go, bobble and not really get much of a fake, but able to turn something into nothing. Interesting on that play, though, the ball's on this near hash. Ginnivan was split out on the far side of the field one-on-one. They put one of their looked like defensive linemen, like an end, and put him well about half the distance between the end of the line and Ginnivan, afraid of that short pass and one-on-one with Ginnivan on the outside.
First and 10 Raiders from the Titans 34 with 9:11 left here in the first half. Frontenac, that 7-0 lead. Out of the gun, there's the give, trying the middle, and stop for a short game, maybe of a couple of yards. That was Alex Johnson.
And that formation, though, is significant. If they're going to make that adjustment to guard against Ginnivan, that takes one of their linemen, away out of the box, and it should open up more running room. And, the last play with Brown, when he got to the outside, that guy was trying to come so far in that then Brown was able to get out around him.
Second, 8 Raiders, 32 of the Titans. Ginnivan wide left, Chastain wide right. Slot right, that's Wilbert. Motion left to right, gets the handoff, cuts inside a block, and he's tripped up and brought down at the 27. But again, a nice gain. Nice block by Loy there.
Yeah, and a really good job not holding and put his arms straight out, is because he pancaked the defender, but put his arms out showing, no, I'm not holding him, I'm just pancaking him. So, yeah, really nice block on the outside. And that time, same thing. Ginnivan to the outside, they split out the defensive end, and he's the guy that got pancaked. A little surprised they ran that way. You would think they might run to the other side of Ginnivan.
3rd and 2 Raiders from the 26 of the Titans. Out of the gun. Motion right to left again, Roseboro. And there's the give, and this time, well, nice effort by Wilbert, and he got the first down out of the throw. There was nothing there. He was hitting 3 yards back in the backfield and turned it into a nice gain in the first down.
Yeah, I think that was Ridge Smith, came on a blitz, came uncovered, but kind of lost his footing and went down to the legs. Wilbert able to break that tackle. And, one thing about Wilbert this year, he has ran very hard. Now, at times he may take himself out of a game or something like that, but he has ran hard with the football.
7:42 clock moving here. First half, Frontenac 7-0 lead. The Raiders on the move with a 1st and 10 from the Titans' 21-yard line. 3 wideouts right side, 1 left. Again out of the gun now in motion right to left again, Wilbert. And they give it again. Boy, he jukes inside and he's going to go in. 10-5 touchdown. Wilbert from 21.
Yeah, really good cut. Makes one juke. And then he walks into the end zone. And I tell you right now, Frontenac, it's the formations are making this a whole lot easier, and the adjustments that Columbus are trying to make. They're spreading everything out, getting everything wide, and it's just creating these lanes and gaps for the Raiders to run through. And this is probably the best running game the Raiders have had probably all season long.
So 7:24 left here in the first half. Frontenac with 13-0 lead. Harris in to attempt the extra point. Get it down. The kick is up, and it is good. 7:24 left in the first half. Frontenac 14, Columbus nothing. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
No one wants to file for bankruptcy, but a wage garnishment can make it hard to pay the rent, pay the pharmacy, or even feed the family. Bankruptcy can be a viable option to help families cope with unfortunate and unforeseen financial hardship. Call Steve Stockert at Wilbert & Towner, 620-231-5620 for a consultation to find out if bankruptcy is the right choice for you and your family. Call today. Wilbert & Towner, a full-service law firm, 620-231-5620. We are a debt relief agency, helping people find the relief they need in bankruptcy.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. Raiders Sports Complex, 7:24 left first half. Frontenac 14, Columbus nothing. The Raiders to kick off. Trey Harris tees it up at the 40-yard line, and again back to receive the kick. Keenan Stanley, and joined back there by Cameron Mitchell, and also trying to see who's to this near side, if that is Walden, or can't quite see the number. And boy, this time a low line drive, and Stanley's going to get the opportunity. He bounces by him. He goes back to retreat it. Now he comes up the middle, and nothing doing as he is tackled right about the 20.
Well, and the Raiders get a bit of a break there with the bobbled football because that gives the coverage team more time. I got to be honest, I was sweating bullets when I saw the ball go down the middle of the field. You just don't want to give an athlete like Stanley that much room, but the Raiders catch the break, bobbles the ball, and then good hustle downfield.
Titans will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Coming out wide to the right side is Clay Saporito. In the slot to the right is Dakota Sears. Running backs out of the eye behind Ridge Smith, who's under the center this time. And there's a give to the tailback Stanley. Boy, nothing going there.
Oh, and it's Nathan Kaufman again. So it's been Mays most of the year. Mays not getting a lot of penetration so far tonight. It's been Nathan Kaufman from that defensive line. Gets into the Stanley's legs in the backfield, trips him up right at the line of scrimmage. Good play by Kaufman.
So 2nd and 10 after no gain. Titans at their own 20-yard line. In that same formation. 2 to the right, running backs in the eye. And rolling right is Ridge Smith, pressured, and it's spotted in the air. Oh, and it falls incomplete. Boy, nice pressure there, and that was Ishamira out of the linebacker spot, and Ginnivan was there pressured and just batted in the air, fell incomplete.
Yeah, came on the blitz and pretty well untouched. Smith tries to roll out, tries to unload it as he's being hit, and I think it went off the helmet of Ginnivan. Bounced up in the air, but nobody able to get to it. But good, well-timed blitz by Ishamira.
So 3rd and 10, Titans from their own 20. Again, wide to the right is Saporito. Out wide to the left side goes Robinson. There's a slot left. There's Sears. Now in motion, right to left, a little swing pass. That is to Stanley. And, boy, he's close to the first down. Just a little swing pass, and I believe he got it.
Yeah, I think so. And when they motioned him out, no defenders for the Raiders went with him, and so they really were outmanned on the outside. He got some good blocks from the other receivers and good hustle by the Raiders, but it just took too long, and he was able to pick it up.
1st and 10. Titans now at their own 31-yard line.
You would think a linebacker's got to go with him or something if he's going to roll out, because then you just got too many people, not enough defenders.
Smith out of the gun. There's a give. Dive up the middle. Oh, nothing going. They tried to give to Stanley, and he was abruptly halted and also lost a yard.
He got popped that time, and it was Mays, Cummins, both of them getting in there. The linebackers pursuing well, and he took a pretty good shot that time.
So a 2nd and right a little over 10 yards. Titans from their own 30 with 5:55 left first half. Frontenac 14-0 lead. Wideouts to both sides. Slot right. Couple blocking backs with Smith. Give it straight up the middle, and again Smith nothing doing. Now they threw the beanbag, gave him forward progress out about the 31 if that's right, and I don't think he got anywhere near that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They're being kind with these spots, but another blitz by Ishamira, and he blitzed right into the hole. Stood up Stanley. You don't see that happen very often with the big kid, but he got stood up, taken down, and now Columbus, they're taking timeout.
Wow, timeout with 5:23 left in the first half. Frontenac 14-0 lead, and the Titans facing a 3rd and, almost 10 from the 31-yard line. We'll go ahead and keep it here. And, again, do you want to update some scores that you've gotten?
Sure. The other side of this district, you have Baxter visiting Parsons. Parsons with a 7-0 lead. Pittsburgh visiting Wichita North. Pittsburgh 21, Wichita North nothing. Handling that well. A game of interest for possibly later down the road. Some familiar names here. Holton and Hayden. Topeka Hayden are playing tonight. They're knotted at 7. You've got Galena 28, Southeast nothing. No surprise there. Cherryville with a 14-0 lead on Riverton. Labette County with a 14-0 lead on Chanute. And Coffeyville with a 16-0 lead on Independence.
So some of the scores in the area as district play continues. Titans with a 3rd, let's call it 10 from their own 31-yard line. Saporito's wide to the right. Out wide to the left is Schallenbarger. Slot to right. That is Sears. Blocking backs, flanking Smith. They fake the quick hitch left side, and Smith's forced to scramble, and he is hit and dragged down, thrown down rudely. Back at the 20-yard line, threw the beanbag again.
Yeah, and that's Hayden Pyle that gets to him. They're going to give him probably 2 yards more than what he should. That spot is awful. Great discipline by the defensive backs for the Raiders, though. They send Stanley out wide like they did the last 3rd and long. They fake it to him, coming back for a double move on the near side, but the Raiders not fooled. Everyone covered, and then that just takes too long. The pressure gets to him.
Schallenberger to punt, low snap, and Schallenberger comes up with it and then quickly gets rid of the end-over-end punt. And Ishimura drops the football. It's picked up by the Titans, and coming up with it, Sam Eddington, and
there was just no need for this. There was just no need for it. You know, you appreciate the fact that he's trying to save some yards, but it just was not going to be a big enough hop, and he makes the decision, doesn't field it clean, and it's a turnover on the punt.
And they had the low snap. The punter did a good job to get a handle on it, then end over end.
Now, this ball is not correctly spotted because he fielded the ball at about the 46 and ran with it, which you can't return a muffed punt like that was.
So 1st and 10 Titans from the Raiders, and that's Smith just wedging it up the middle, and he gets down to about the 46-yard line, pick up a 3, just taking it straight up the middle.
Well, and I think that's maybe a response to all the blitzing that Frontenac has done and all the havoc they're creating in the backfield. You just do something real quick, see what you can get.
So 2nd and 7. For the Titans from the Raiders, 46-yard line, down to 4 minutes left here in the first half. Frontenac the 14-0 lead, but another turnover gives the Titans some new life here. And there's Stanley, and boy, once again, he hits a brick wall there. And you mentioned Mays, he was involved in it to kind of help with the stop and limited him about 4 yards.
Yeah, I tell you, when he got that ball, though, this looked like it might be a big play for him. So a good job by Mays to hustle over and get him down.
3rd and 3 Titans, and there's Stanley again. Oh! No, they tripped him up, brought him down. Was that Cooper Loy? Got him that shoe-top tackle and stopped him for, it must gain about a half a yard.
Yeah, exactly. Cooper Loy gets in there, and I'm sure they're going to go for this one. Gets in there and gets into the legs, just up-ended him, and then he ran into a brick wall when he was flying through the air into the line. So great play by Loy. And you know, they've moved him. He's been playing a lot of middle linebacker so far tonight, moving him in from the safety, and then they're continuing to blitz those linebackers.
So 4th and 2, Titans from the 41 of the Raiders. Out of the gun, Smith. He's going to keep it this time, and boy, he did not make it. No way. 1 yard. He was stopped shy of the 40, and the ball goes over.
Yeah, and they tried to spread everything out, and they motioned another man, and I was like, the Raiders defense didn't go with the motion man again. They'd have been outnumbered to the outside. Columbus is hoping that they'll shift out with everybody being so spread and open up the middle. The Raiders not fooled. Try to go up the middle and nothing doing. So a huge stop after the turnover. The Raiders get the ball right back.
1st and 10. Frontenac will start from its own 40-yard line with 2:51 left here in the first half. And Frontenac with that 14-0 lead. And boy, once again, defense playing lights out here this evening. Wide to the left goes Ginnivan. Wide to the right is Ishimura. Again out of the gun. Motion left to right goes Wilbert. And he has the handoff, and now there's a flag on the far side. Was there motion or shift?
It has to be a false start. I'm almost sure.
And the white hat looking up at the press box. Dead ball procedure, and Raiders will move back 5, face a 1st and 15.
Well, and you'd certainly love to get some more points here by the at the end of the half, but I think if you told Coach Smith we could go to halftime at 14-0, I think he'd be happy with that. So to me, I wouldn't mind seeing the Raiders keep this on the ground and get that clock running.
Out of the gun, low snap, but able to get it and gives it to Wilbert this time. Oh, he shook the tackler in the backfield and able to turn it in about a 3-yard gain. There was nothing there, and just good hard run once again.
Well, penetration up the middle again. That's where it's come from, which is why the Raiders have tried to run more to the outside, but they try to go back up that middle, and the penetration straight up the gut limited the carry. And yeah, you're right, Wilbur, just good effort, hard running.
2nd and 13 for the Raiders. They're at their own 37-yard line with 2:19 clock moving. There's the 14-0 lead. Wide right goes Ginnivan. Wide left comes Chastain. Slot right is Wilbert. Get out of the gun. Brown with the blocking back Lloyd to his left. Now in motion, right to left. Wilbert fake the handoff. Pumps once going long. Got a man open, and that is Ginnivan. Got behind the defender, and the catch inside the 30 down to the 27. Maybe the And right around the 27-yard line.
Yeah, ran the double move, ran a hitch and go. You fake the jet sweep, which the Raiders have ran several times. You get the stop and go on the outside. Ginnivan beats his man. The ball may be a yard underthrown because he had the man beat. He had to wait slightly, or else it could have been a touchdown. But, boy, really nice play design, well executed by the Raiders.
So the Raiders will have a 1st and 10 at the Titans' 27-yard line, down to 1:49 left first half, and Frontenac trying to add to that 14-0 lead. Wide left goes Ginnivan, joined out there by Ishamira. Right is Roseboro. Motion left to right, Ishamira. Fakes the handoff, pumps once, got Ginnivan. Oh, the defender fell down. Oh, and he overthrew the pass.
Yeah, they ran a post corner with Ginnivan, and he completely turned the defensive back so silly he fell down. There was going to be nobody within 15 yards of Ginnivan, and Peyton Brown just put too much air under the ball and overthrew him. Should have been a touchdown.
2nd and 10 Raiders from the Titans' 27-yard line.
Back-to-back double moves, both of them worked to perfection. The first one executed, the second one not.
1:31 left here in the first half. Raiders with that 14-0 lead. Wide to the right is Ishamira. Tight to the right side is Roseboro. Hessong split wide left. Boy, now all sorts of movement. And drops the snap, and Brown able to get back on it at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, just under center, and I think he may have pulled out a little quickly that time. Ball on the ground. Another problem that the Raiders have had all year is with those snaps, and that's just a killer. You've got things going your way, and you miss a play. Now you get a negative one on 2nd down. It's 3rd and long. Now the only good news is you're definitely in 4-down territory, unless maybe if they pick up about 7 or 8, you might think about a field goal.
3rd, 13 Raiders. Titans 29-yard line. Ginnivan wide left. Ishamira slot left. Slot right side is Loy, and now some confusion. Timeout taken by the Raiders. 53 seconds left first half. Frontenac 14-0 lead. The Raiders face a 3rd and 13 from the 29 of the Titans. We'll go ahead and keep that there. And boy, that's some of those opportunities that you need to cash in on.
Yeah, in a big game like this, you gotta take advantage of every break that you get. And that same goes for Columbus. They get the turnover, but do absolutely nothing with the football, so they've not taken advantage of some opportunities. The Raiders so far have done an excellent job of taking advantage. We'll see if they can still cash in, still have the drive going. But, yeah, you hate to see what should have been an easy throw and catch for a touchdown, be wasted. But, hey, it's football. It's what happens, so you just got to make some plays. I will be really interested. It depends on what the Raiders get here on 3rd down. If it's like 4th and 5 or so, I think you might see the field goal team trot out onto the field.
Well, and, Trey Harris, he drilled that 41-yarder last week at Parsons, and actually that was against a bit of a breeze, and this is kind of a small cross breeze that he would kick it against, but the Raiders still need to gain a few yards as they have a 3rd and 13, and ball at the Titans' 29. Shamir wide right. Ginnivan wide left. Slot left is Wilbert. Lloyd, the blocking back to the right of Brown. Out of the shotgun. Now motion right to left goes to Shamira. Get it to Brown. Look, forced to scramble. Boy, nothing doing. Better hang on to the football. He does. He's thrown rudely back at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, and Columbus is going to call timeout now. Now you're so far back, it might be time to punt it. Well, that's the one thing the Raiders couldn't do right there was take a sack. And, I really thought they had 3 receivers to the left, and they had a motion man going to the left, too. I thought for sure something was coming back to the right, but Brown was looking left all the way. And, again, the pressure came straight up the gut, straight up the middle, got to him before he could unload it.
So you're down to 43 seconds. Raiders face a 4th and a mile, actually, from the 40 of the Titans. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to punt this ball, and I would be shocked if this punt ends on the field of play. I think you kick this thing either, if you can get it to the end zone, you kick it in the end zone. Otherwise, you pin this thing on the sideline, even if out of bounds even. There's no sense. You've played so well. There's no sense in giving any open field chance to Columbus on this kick return.
And at halftime, we'll have the unofficial stats and scoring summary. Take a look at some of the scores we have of other contests of interest in the area, and look what's going on with some of the other teams.
Now, in warm-ups, I did see Harris was working on coffin corner kicks, which this would be the perfect chance for that type of kick. Now, Columbus not even putting anybody back. They're playing punt safe. I'm surprised by that. It's 4th and forever. You can't run a fake for that long.
And the snap to Harris. He punts it away. A nice high spiral. Going to take a lot of time before it lights. And let it roll, let it roll, let it roll.
And there's
and
the
goes out of bounds.
Coffin corner.
Good job.
Perfectly executed by Harris. That just really shocks me that they didn't put anybody back. You know, if it were 4th and 12 or something, maybe I could see, you know, Frontenac trying to fake or something, but that was 4th and forever. There's no way they were going to fake that.
So the Titans will have it 1st and 10 from their own 8-yard line with 35 seconds left here in the first half. Frontenac with 14-0 lead. So, you know, this is the area may try that little swing pass. Watch for the screen. You know, the defensive line's going to be fired up, going to try to put pressure on the quarterback and see what they go with. Right, wide right goes Saporito in the slot to the right. Once again, that's Sears. Running backs in the eye behind Ridge Smith, who's under the center. And there's give left side. This time Stanley's trying the left side, and well, he got him hemmed in pretty good, and he's dragged down at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Johnson, I think, came up pretty well and kept his outside contained. Made it turn back inside where the pursuit was coming, and yeah, it might be a gain of 6 or 7 yards, but at this point, who cares?
So 2nd and 4 for the Titans from their own 15-yard line, down to 8 seconds remaining here in the first half, and I believe Columbus is going to be content to go in at halftime trailing 14-0, and that'll do it for the first half. We're at halftime. Frontenac Raiders lead the Columbus Titans by a score of 14-0, and again, we'll be back with the unofficial stat scoring summary and take a look at some area scores and some of the goings-on, the other Frontenac student athletes, and all that and more after we take a 2-minute break. 2 minutes, you're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
After 3 decades in business, Bittner Motors of Pittsburgh remains a local favorite.
It's
if
a
you're in the
feeling you
market
get
for
the
a
moment
quality
you step on
pre-owned
campus.
vehicle, Bittner Motors has a large selection of
It's the knowledge that you become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference
Everybody wants to stand out.
without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
Since 1945, Tri-State Building has been helping build the four-state area, providing quality construction services and dependability at competitive prices. Tri-State Building has a reputation as a general contractor and an authorized Butler builder, which holds experience, quality, and reliability above all other considerations. Tri-State Building has built a multitude of projects and is your full-service design build contractor that can take you from concept to grand opening. For an honest and proven contractor, call us, Tri-State Building.
fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you...
Through the air, Ridge Smith, 5 completions, 6 attempts for 55 yards, and that's it on offense for the Titans. Frontenac Raiders led on the ground by Jake Wilbert, dozen carries, 126 yards and a touchdown. Peyton Brown, 4 carries, -9 yards. Cooper Loy, a couple of carries, -6. Alex Johnson, 1 carry for 2 yards. Through the air, Peyton Brown, 4 completions, 7 attempts, 85 yards and a touchdown. He did throw 1 interception, and the Raiders did lose a fumble. So two turnovers for the Raiders and none for the Titans in that first half. Scoring summary goes like this. First quarter, 5:45 remaining, 24-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Brown to Brock Ginnivan. Trey Harris good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 7, Columbus nothing with 5:45 remaining in the first quarter. That's the way the first quarter ended, with the Raiders leading the Titans 7-0. Then in that second quarter, 7:24 remaining, Jake Wilbert, 21-yard run. Again, Trey Harris good on the extra point. It was Frontenac 14, Columbus nothing with 7:24 remaining in the first half, and that's where you're at halftime. The Raiders with that 14-0 lead, and we said running game probably the best we've had all year. I agree with you there, and we missed a few opportunities, but man, that was a lights out first half if you're a Raider fan.
I think overall it's by far the best half of football the Raiders have put together, and especially against a quality opponent. They've come out. The defense has been extremely disciplined. They've been just flying to the football, gang tackling when they've had to, starting to get penetration now, which I think is the big key. If they can keep doing that, Columbus is going to have fits. And then offensively, blocking well up front. They do, Columbus getting a little penetration right up the middle. But other than that, on the edges and the tackles and the ends and the receivers have blocked extremely well. And then you get Wilbur running hard. I don't think there's a question. Best half of football we've seen all year.
Man, that equates to a 14-0 lead for Frontenac over Columbus at halftime. And again, the Raiders won the coin toss, deferred. They have the choice here in the second half, and no doubt with that cross breeze, I'm assuming they'll take that football and try to add to that 14-0 lead. But no excited crowd here, big crowd sticking around on this senior night, and a lot of folks lining the chain link fence in the end zone, and a lot of folks made the trip up from Columbus, and interesting first half. The Raiders with that 14-0 lead, and a number of other contests ongoing that we've been trying to keep you updated on some of the scores, and some interesting scores, to say the least.
Absolutely. Parsons still has a lead on Baxter Springs. They're up 10-0 now. They've added a field goal. Girard hosting Burlington. Girard 15, Burlington 14. So a knuckle biter in Girard. Pittsburgh having their way with Wichita North up 35-0. And then that Holton and Topeka Hayden game I mentioned earlier, Holton has taken a 13-7 lead on Hayden.
Really? Interesting. Quite a rivalry going there. And so some of the scores of interest, and of course, again, district play in week number 8, the regular season, second week of district for these teams here, and one more next week. And again, the Raiders will go to Baxter Springs, and of course, Columbus will take on Parsons. Parsons with that 10-0 lead over Baxter. And you got another update?
I do. I've got an updated score on the Burlington-Girard game. Burlington has now taken the lead. They are up 28-15 up on Girard.
And of course, playing over at Girard. And so we'll keep an eye on that score. Could be some interest on down the road as far as the pairings. Don't forget to the playoffs is, a little cross with that district, that first round. So we'll keep you up to date on that. And why don't we take another 2-minute break, and then we'll go over some of the other activities going on at Frontenac schools. We'll take a 2-minute break. It's halftime. Frontenac leads Columbus 14-0. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
If you want to improve your basketball skill set, you need to attend one of the Lane Lord basketball camps. Each camper receives individual attention and specific coaching adapted to age and skill level. There's something for everyone. A grade school camp for girls entering 3rd through 8th grade, a high school team camp available on 2 different weekends with both varsity and JV levels of competition, plus satellite camps throughout the summer. All campers receive instruction from head coach Lane Lord, head assistant Amanda David, along with former and current players. For more information, visit them online at LaneLordBballCamps.com. Coach Lord and Coach David have seen tremendous success over the past several years, and they begin their recruiting at these camps, with over 20 former campers being signed. Visit LaneLordBballCamps.com.
Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing can tow all cars, trucks, and some semi-tractors and trailers in town or cross country. Larry Barrett has emergency wrecker service for all accidents, 24-hour towing. Been in an accident? Then call the pros. They have quality auto body repairing and painting from certified technicians for all major and minor repair jobs, and they can deal directly with the insurance companies, taking the stress out of your life. Go to BarrettBodyFrame.com or stop in and see them at 1601 East 27th Street Terrace, or call 232-9400. That's Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. Customer service first. See them fast in names and numbers.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We are at halftime. Frontenac leads Columbus 14-0, and we begin some updates on the scores as the Little Raiders are performing here at halftime after the Frontenac marching band on this senior night. A nice crowd on this beautiful night for football. A little breezy, but was, like we mentioned earlier, been worse week 8 into the season in years past. But boy, and also busy time. A lot of things going on, especially in the postseason for some of these other student athletes, and a big one coming up tomorrow up at Frontenac that. Need a big crowd there. Come on out and enjoy.
Absolutely. The girls volleyball team is hosting Sub-State this year. The ball will be put in play at 2 o'clock tomorrow at the Frontenac Gymnasium. The Sub-State is Frontenac, Baxter, Columbus, Galena. Frontenac is the 1 seed. They will face off at 2 o'clock against Galena, the 4 seed. Baxter is the 2 seed, and Columbus is the 3 seed. They will play after the Frontenac and Galena match. Of course, the 2 winners, they will square off, and the winner of that will go to the state tournament. And, the girls have done a nice job of improving this year. For a while, they, the record kind of dropped for a little while, but they've kind of started to figure some things out. They've got themselves back up to 500 at 19-19, and, that's the best record in our sub-state by a long shot. So I think there's a good chance that the girls, can pull out 2 wins tomorrow and make a trip to state, which would be a great accomplishment for them this year. Then cross country, they also have a big day tomorrow. They've got their regional meet. That's up at Burlington. Very tough course, very challenging. I'm sure Coach Murray is going to have the kids well prepared. They had all week to get ready for that meet. Didn't have a meet this week because the league was last week. So good luck to all the cross-country runners at regionals tomorrow. I think we actually have a shot at 1 or 2 kids possibly qualifying for state.
And if I'm not mistaken, were they moving up some start times because of impending bad weather coming up Saturday? Had you heard anything along those lines? Okay, I was wondering if maybe that was the western part of the state or not, but I thought they were, apparently we're going to be getting some weather tomorrow, and I didn't know if they were trying to move some of those start times up. So if you are interested, you might want to check that out at the high school website, and they'd probably have that information.
And then finally, the girls golf had the state tournament on Monday. Frontenac sent 3 girls to the state tournament this year. Had Autumn Bryant, who's just a sophomore. Had Brianna Green, who's just a freshman. And then Faith Hill, who's the senior leader on the team. And Faith Hill, she finished the highest of the 3 girls in 29th place. But, a good year for the Frontenac golf team. And, sending a couple underclassmen to state bodes well for the future for the girls golf team. So congratulations to all those coaches and athletes that have participated in all the other sports, and then they've all done pretty well this year.
And invite you to come on out tomorrow for that sub-state volleyball. You go to host some of these events. They did it in wrestling recently, and it's just a whole new atmosphere, and you get in there and you get excited and a big crowd, and you can really enjoy it. So that will be tomorrow in that first match at 2 o'clock. So come on out and support the volleyball team at Sub-State, top seed in that Sub-State. And the Little Raiders done performing at halftime, as well as the Frontenac band, and are getting nearing the start of the second half. Again, Frontenac with that 14-0 lead, and tell you what, fired up crowd here is the Raiders with the 2-score lead and playing well, and just kind of a good vibe, and you get the football to start the second half and see how things go.
Yeah, and the question really does become, can the Raiders keep this up for a full game? If they play as well, especially defensively, play tremendous defense in that first half. I think if they don't give up any big plays, if Stanley never gets loose, then I like the Raiders' chances in this game.
And we've mentioned too, like we have in previous weeks, you're seeing some newer and different faces in there earlier, kind of spelling, getting some depth in there, and the kids performing well once they get on the field, and that's the case here tonight. Some kids have gotten in there and made a big contribution in that first half.
Well, and defensively seen a couple of changes. There for a while went to a 5-man front at times, which Frontenac hasn't done all year long. You brought Cooper Loy inside to the middle linebacker and hitting some blitzes. Ishimura has been blitzing like crazy from that middle linebacker and getting in, making plays all over the place. So mixing things up just in the design of the defense, which I think has Columbus a little bit off balance. I know for a fact Columbus defensively is off balance, and it's been a brilliant job of formations and personnel changes, play calling. And I don't think Columbus has a clue whether a pass is coming, a run is coming. If they're running inside, running outside, I don't think they have an idea of what's going on right now.
And also, more so, of course, a couple of times, notice the Raiders get a first down and a penalty or a mistaken play behind the stakes, but there haven't been much of that tonight like it has been in maybe some of the past contests.
Yeah, the penalties haven't been too bad, and the negative plays haven't been too bad. There's really only been maybe one or two bobbled snaps that have cost the Raiders some yards. But they have turned the ball over, though. You've got the interception, a fumble, and a muff punt. Now, that's something the Raiders have gotten away with because the defense has played so well. Plus, all of those happened around midfield or in Columbus territory, so we haven't given them the short field yet. But you just can't continue to do that against a good team. It's going to bite you in the rear end eventually. So clear up that stuff. And the Raiders, I think, should be in pretty good shape as long as they can keep up this intensity that they played with in the first half.
Frontenac leads Columbus 14-0 at halftime, and waiting for both teams to come out for the start of the second half, the mandatory 3-minute stretch and the kickoff, and the Raiders will have the option to start the second half as they won the toss, deferred, and likely will take the football and trying to add that 14-0 lead. So we'll take another 2-minute break and then come back for the second half after 2 minutes. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
The true test of a great insurance agency comes when you suffer a loss. It's easy to take your premiums, but Ray Ryan of Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh knows that handling your claim is the most important service an insured needs.
Claim is our chance to let the customer know that we'll be out there, not just that we sold them a policy, we'll also be there when a claim occurs to make sure it gets handled in an honest, respectable way.
Ryan Insurance of Pittsburgh, a trusted choice agency. Find them fast in names and numbers.
The City of Frontenac is a proud supporter of Frontenac High School athletics and academics. The City of Frontenac was founded in 1886 and is home to just over 3,100 residents. Frontenac citizens enjoy a small-town atmosphere and all that a close-knit community has to offer. Situated on the crossroads of two major highways, those living in Frontenac can easily travel and enjoy the amenities of larger cities in a shorter travel distance. The community boasts an outstanding school system, low taxes, complete city services, including 24-hour police and fire protection. Good luck, Raiders, from the mayor, city council, and staff.
Rob Strandbeck with Randy Southard, and nearing the start of the second half of this CNC League district battle between the Frontenac Raiders and Columbus Titans, and the Raiders with that 14-0 lead at half. And assuming they're going to have the football to start the second half. And we said in the past, you got that lead and you get that kickoff. And, boy, you'd like to take a long drive and you get up some clock and put points on the board, if, but just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it just sets the tone for the entire second half. And, I'm sure Columbus has maybe a touch of doubt, but I'm sure they still believe they can come back and win this football game only down 2 scores. If Frontenac can come out, get a good drive, put points on the board, boy, then in 3 scores, really going to start seeping some doubt into Columbus.
And the Titans did get down to the Galena Bulldogs. Their one loss of the season, got down, came back, made a run, actually regained the lead before Galena had a late drive to win that one, and the upper leg in the CNC League title race. And the Titans, they'll get after it, I guarantee you. I'm sure you got some talking to from their head coach, Dan Grundy. And
I'm very curious to see what defensive adjustments they're going to make, really just strictly almost by alignment. They're so worried about Ginnivan being one-on-one on the outside, and they're worried for good reason, but it's really kind of making everything easier for Frontenac in the running game because it's taking a man out of the box. It's taking one of their defensive ends too wide, because they're trying to help with Ginnivan, and the Raiders able to run the ball effectively because of that. So we'll see if they continue to do that, and if so, the Raiders, can they still run the ball well, which they should be able to. If not, then you got to go with Ginnivan one-on-one.
So the Raiders to take the football to start the second half, the Titans to kick off, and Frontenac with that 14-0 lead. And again, After the contest, we'll talk with Raiders coach Mark Smith, take a look at the unofficial stat scoring summary and some of the other goings on. That in the post game, but we got a half to go here in the Frontenac with the 14-0 lead, and got a half to go to here to try and improve to 5-3 on the season and 2-0 in district play.
And of course, then you got to figure the way Baxter's been going lately. You know, the Raiders should get a win next week, which of course would put them with the district championship. You get that first round home game.
So a lot of the crowd sticking around for this one as they enjoyed that first half, hoping for more in the second half. And again, just a beautiful night for football, senior night. And
it is kind of funny because there's always a big crowd when you get the little Raider cheerleaders out there. There's always a big crowd, and then everybody takes off at halftime once their girl is done, you know, performing. I think everybody's pretty well stuck around tonight. The Raiders are playing so well, they want to keep watching good football.
So Titans will kick off and defend the east goal here in the third quarter, and handling of the kicking chores is Will Eddington. Tees it up at the 40-yard line. And back to receive the kick, Ishimura, along with Johnson. And also Chance. We got to be careful, watch for that onside kick. Pops it up, short. Taking it is Cade Chastain, retreats back to the 22, takes it up the middle of the 30, and hangs on to the football, gets out to the 34. So good field position. Boy, some people pointing at each other out there. A few of the Raiders red sprawling kind of late, but again, I think it looked like the hitting to the whistle.
Well, and, you know, Frontenac on those kick return and kickoff will play, you know, some of the backups, some of the JV kids, and you know they get out there and they're a little frisky. I like it.
1st and 10. Raiders will start from their own 34-yard line here to open the third quarter. Frontenac 14-0 lead. Ginnivan wide right, Shamir wide left, and there's a give. Wilbur trying the left side, trying to turn the corner, and he's collared and brought down out at the 36-yard line. I believe they're going to give him gain of a couple.
Well, I tell you that first hit was okay, but that second one was real close to being out of bounds and a little bit late, but the officials let it go.
2nd and 8 for the Raiders from their own 36-yard line.
Now, they ran that jet sweep, but that time it was more to the near side of the field, so you just don't have as much ground, you know, to maybe get to the edge, and Columbus was able to defend it a little better.
So they got trips to the right side. Brown out of the gun. Single blocking back to his left was Loy. With the snap, Brown just get a straight run left corner, turns the corner, and then he is planted about near the first down stripe out of the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I think he's going to have this, and you know, designed run, good block by the fullback, and able to get to the outside. Then a nice spin move at the end to gain that last yard, and well, didn't get a great, not a great spot, but they did give him the first down regardless.
1st and 10, Raiders from their own 44-yard line.
I think there's been some questionable spots most of the night, but nothing that really, I guess, has affected the game so much. But
Ginnivan goes wide right, Ishimura wide left, running backs in the eye. Fullback is Loy, the tailback Wilbert, behind Brown under the center. Bobbles the snap, picks it up, tries to turn the right corner, needs a block, and boy, he's going to run out of room and drop back with a loss of 3.
And that happened once before, or a couple times in the first half. Once he was able to make something out of it, but twice now the fumble snap has resulted in negative plays for the Raiders.
So the Raiders, again, after that first down, now behind the stakes is 2nd and 12 from their own 42-yard line.
And it's still just hard to believe that has been a problem all year long. We're in week 8. You would think that should not be a problem for a team anymore.
Ginnivan wide left, Ishimura wide right again. Brown flanked by a couple running backs. Quick hitch right side, too tall, and intended for Ishimura, falls incomplete.
Yeah, and that was a play designed to get half of that yardage, make the third down more manageable, and ran a good route, was open, ball just sailed on Brown.
So the Raiders facing a 3rd and 12 from their own 42-yard line. With 10:57 left here in the third quarter, and Frontenac with that 14-0 lead. Ginnivan wide right, Dishmere wide left, slot left is Wilbert. Blocking back, Loy to the right of Brown, who's out of the gun. Low snap, comes up with it, looking, puts it up, and it is, boy, put up for grabs and falls incomplete. Tried to force it to Ginnivan, and Cameron Mitchell's right there.
And there is a flag on the far side. It's going to be illegal motion. Ginnivan kind of flinched a little bit. I'm surprised they let the play go at all. They're going to call it illegal motion. I'm sure Columbus will decline this and set up fourth down. Raiders will have to punt it away.
So with 10:53 left here in the third quarter, and Frontenac 14-0 lead. Raiders face a 4th and 12 from their own 42-yard line. Harris in to punt. Back to receive the kick. Drops Stanley and joined back there by Walden.
This is a case, again, directional punt, I would think here. You don't want to give him the ball in the open field.
A good snap. Harris with it. Oh, his pressure gets it away, end over end near side. And like you said, that was very directional. He's not going to get much out of that one. They're going to have excellent field position. Well, the Titans, they'll be up probably at least about the 40.
I would think so.
Right at, man, about the 41-yard line. So.
Well, you know, one thing about it, Stanley didn't score a touchdown in the open field. So, you know, you got to look at the bright side.
So 1st and 10 Titans. They'll start from their own 41-yard line with 10:41 left here in the third quarter. And Frontenac with that 14-0 lead. So the Titans kick off to start the second half. Defense holds, and now they have the football. Stanley splits wide to the left. In the slot to the left side goes Sears. Smith out of the gun. Now in motion left to right is Sears. And they give it straight dive up the middle, and that is Walden. And this time he's got pretty nice yardage out to the 48, maybe the 49-yard line.
Well, I tell you, there's some holding going on in the middle of that line. I think that was Cummins that time, just was bear hugged and taken to the ground. About as obvious a hold on the interior line as you are ever going to see, but uncalled.
So the Titans with a 2nd and 3 from their own 48-yard line. And Smith out of the gun. Now motion right to left, Sears out of the slot, and they give, no, Smith's going to keep it, and he crosses into Raider territory, and I believe he got the first down.
Well, and able to split two defenders who got penetration. Looked like they were going to have him for a loss, but he was able to split them, get just enough to pick up that first down.
1st and 10 Titans, now at the Raiders' 48-yard line. Clock moving down to, well, it's at 9. There we go, 9:55. Frontenac with 14-0 lead. Titans on the move. Wide right, Stanley. Slot right, that is Sears. Smith out of the gun. Single blocking back. Walden with him. Motion right to left, that's Sears. With the snap, Smith looking to throw, pressured, going to go long, puts it up, and it is nice defensive effort there. As that is Alex Johnson, and the pass was intended for Clay Saporito. Almost made a nice catch, but Johnson came over top and batted it away.
Yeah, timed it very well, got there just as the ball arrived, but boy, it looked like holding on in there again. Ishimura blitzing up the middle and had a full head of steam, and then all of a sudden from the side, he just kind of stopped in his tracks. It's
now look.
Yeah, they've marked the ball a full yard
They've
ahead
given
of
him
the
a yard
sticks.
ahead of the sticks. It's it's actually 2nd and 10. Should be from about the 48-yard line. It's up resting at the 47, and they give to Walden, and he avoids the first tackler. Got some penetration, and he battles his way down to the 41-yard line.
Ball came out. Frontenac has the ball, but they're not. They're going to say he was down. That ball, it was close. I think Johnson got in there and ripped the ball out of there. It was very close to a fumble.
3rd and 3, Titans from the Raiders' 41-yard line. Big third down, of course, 4-down territory. Wide right, Stanley, slot right, Sears. Again, Walden single running back with Smith out of the gun. With the snap, quick hitch, right side, that is Stanley. He gets a block and avoids the first tackler, but not the 2nd and 3rd. And he is brought down at the, well, boy, man, it looks like with the spot, yeah,
I think they're going to give him the first
down. Boy, oh boy, that looks, again, generous, big time. I don't see what these guys are seeing.
Well, they should be a yard less because on an incomplete pass, they gained a yard somehow. with the way they spotted the ball on second down. But, even there, you've got to give that to Columbus. If they want to do that and throw it out there and gain 3 or 4 yards on that play, well defensed by the Raiders. Yeah, they got a first down, but I think the defensive staff will take that. And now you see putting Stanley out wide.
1st and 10, Titans from the 38 of the Raiders. Motion left to right, Sears. Smith with this football, looking to throw over the middle, puts it up, and it is overthrown. Alex Johnson there, Jake Wilbert there. Good defense once again. Boy, he tried to force it in there, a tight spot, and it fell incomplete and 10 for Saporito.
Yeah, had 3 receivers and all goes. Double coverage down the middle, and that's the side that he tried to. I watched the far side, and Stanley barely ran. Didn't hardly make any kind of an effort on the pass, and they've given him a yard again on the spot.
This guy's got to get back a yard. He's missing it by a yard when he's spotting that ball every time.
I cannot believe the Frontenac coaches aren't seeing this, but they've given him another yard.
Out of the gun, Smith. And there's a give straight up the middle. That's Walden once again, and he's moving the pile down to the 31-yard line. And the ball comes out. The Raiders say they have it. No, they're going to call him down. The official pointing it down to the ground.
This is unbelievable how an incomplete pass apparently is a 1-yard gain for Columbus tonight. It's twice in a row there's been an incomplete pass, and the officials have spotted the ball a yard ahead of the stick.
Let's go 3rd and 4. Looking to the far side for the Titans from the Raiders' 31-yard line. Stanley again wide right. Sears slot right. Walden running back behind Smith. Motion right to left, Sears. Some movement. Look to the far sideline. Check the play. Now Sears sets up in the left slot. And, he turned the wrong way trying to get it to Walden. Smith forced to keep it, and he's brought down at the 30, a couple yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback went the wrong way or the back went the wrong way, but it resulted in no fake, and it just kind of messed the whole play up for Columbus. Good job by the defensive line for Frontenac. Stand everything up. No hole to run through.
4th and 2. Titans football resting at the Raiders' 30-yard line with 7:58 clock moving here in the third quarter. Frontenac the 14-0 lead.
And a giant play here. That goes without saying, because Columbus is coming out of the second half really fired up, and if they can get stopped right here, it may change that momentum.
Sears in motion right left. They hand it to Sears trying to turn the left corner, and he gets the corner turned, and he got a block, and a nice effort by Lloyd to drag him down at the 22.
Yeah, and the corner on the far side wasn't able to maintain his outside contain. He got sucked in just enough right when he thought the back may turn it up. He went inside. The back didn't turn it up, got to the corner, and converts for the first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10, Titans from the Raiders. It looks like just flirting with the 22-yard line on the 7:35 left third quarter. In Frontenac, that 14-0 lead. Titans threaten. Smith out of the gun. Walden behind him. And there's the dive. No, that was Stanley. He's hemmed in. And, boy, nice effort there. He got inside the 20 down about the 18. Not much there, but he danced around and picked up about 4.
Yeah, it was great penetration, but it wasn't – they still were on blocks, and so nobody could actually grab Stanley and get him for the loss. He sidesteps a couple times and finally found a hole to pick up some yards.
2nd and 6. Titans from the Raiders. 17-yard line. Motion back going right to left in front of the quarterback. Quick hitch, right side, and it is complete. And on the receiving end, that was Sean Robinson, but he was thrown back at the 21-yard line, and that was Ishimura on the defense.
Well, in Ishimura, they've been having him come up a little bit more and more, not giving quite as much cushion. And this time he was up only maybe 5 yards off the ball. Read the quick pass very well. Came up, hit him just as the ball got there. No chance for the receiver. Now, the only thing you got to watch now, though, do they end up faking that and do a double move and try to get deep on him?
So a 3rd and 8 for the Titans from the Raiders' 21-yard line. Football resting on the near hash. Wide left, Robinson. Slot left, Sears. 2 running backs, flank Smith, and a timeout taken by the Titans. Down to 6:13 left here in the third quarter. Frontenac the 14-0 lead. Titans on the move, and boy, this shapes up obviously 4-down territory, but a couple of big plays coming up.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see. You don't mind taking timeouts in the first half. It's not gonna hurt you too much. But as tight as this game looks like it may end up being here in the second half, that's one less timeout that Columbus isn't going to have in the fourth quarter when they might really need it. So that could be a big play, even if it doesn't affect it right now.
So the Titans with taking the timeout, facing a 3rd and 8 from the Frontenac 21-yard line. We're down to 6:13 here in the third quarter, and Frontenac the 14-0 lead.
And still no big plays yet. You know, that they still think that is the big key. Don't let them get loose and get those big plays. If Columbus can earn it, then you know, you kind of almost tip your hat to them. And I was also wondering, because you knew Columbus was going to come out with a little more fire, a little more passion. You figured they might get some plays in their favor. I was curious to see how Frontenac would handle a little bit of adversity. They're getting a little taste of it right now, and I think they're doing just fine with it. We'll see how that plays out the rest of the game.
So we'll see the offensive set the Titans throw at that Raiders defense. And let's see, we've got a couple to the left side. And that is Robinson along with Sears. Single setback. That is Stanley behind Smith. Out of the gun, motion left to right goes Sears. And the handoff. There's the give. That is Stanley trying to turn the corner. Nothing do it as he is thrown down. Cooper Lloyd, good penetration. Mays in there. Now, how about that whole left side of that defense, or right side of that defense came up and contributed.
Yeah, and Lloyd does a great job, and not just coming up, but he came up with some outside leverage, too. He was not going to give up his outside shoulder, got into the legs, didn't quite get him down, but slowed him up enough where the rest of everybody else could come and get him. But great play by Lloyd, not just that he got to there, but how he got there with that outside leverage and didn't let him run around him.
4th and 13, Titans from the Raiders, 26-yard line. Wide right, once again, Robinson. Sears in the slot right. Stanley behind Smith, looking to throw. Dropping back, not as much pressure. Boy, another hold. Oh, and a nice effort. It looked like Wilbur just snuck a hand in there. It was wide open over the middle that time. I believe the intended receiver was Caden Soper, and it fell incomplete, and the defense holds.
Well, he was wide open, and Wilbur does flash in front of him. I don't think he touched the ball at all, but he may have distracted the receiver enough. That thing hit the receiver right in the shoulder pad and fell down. The Raiders catch a break. That wasn't a touchdown because open receiver, and that was close. Should have been a touchdown for Columbus, quite frankly.
1st and 10. Raiders will start from their own 26-yard line. See if they can get something going offensively with 5:19 left third quarter, leading 14-0 out of the gun. Brown, Wilbur behind him, takes the handoff. Looking to the left side, spins out, brought down near the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, pick up a couple. Not much going there. Pretty good defensive penetration there.
And thought the cut might get him a couple more yards than he got, and now he's coming off to the side again. He's been holding his side, and I don't know if it's his hip or his ribs that every now and then Wilbert's had to come out of the game for, but hopefully it's just a play or two because he has ran the ball very well tonight.
2nd and 9 for the Raiders from their own 27-yard line. Again, Alex Johnson in there, and a low snap. Brown's going to give it. And, boy, not much going as they try the right side that time. And, boy, now there's some hitting going on late. And, boy, somebody come in and took a cheap shot, and one of the Raiders took offense to it.
And that was Cal Strand that got hit in the back after the whistle.
And now they're telling him to go to the sideline?
Why him?
What is this?
I have no idea why they're sending him to the sideline. He's the one that got hit, so apparently you're supposed to get cheap shotted and not even say anything to anybody. Well, I've got some issues with this officiating crew tonight. I hate to say that, but boy, it's been a little rough.
Yeah. I don't know. You can escort a guy to the sideline. Is he kicked out or what?
I don't think so, but I think Coach Smith's not too happy with the officiating. A couple heated words. Now, with the timeout, he should be able to come back out onto the field, I would assume. But
are you kidding me? Yeah, he's over on the sideline. He's not in the huddle. Surely that wasn't.
Well, he never gave the sign of an ejection sign, which he didn't do anything to get ejected.
Well, he's kind of storming along the sideline. I don't know what happened. I didn't see the ejection. I didn't see that much of a hubbub in there, but
yeah. But he definitely got cheap shotted in the back, and he stood up and and took a couple steps toward him, but I didn't see any kind of punches thrown or any shoving, actually, just kind of everybody up there jawing. That's odd to say the least, but we've seen several odd things with these officials tonight too. So
the Raiders face a 3rd and 9 after that from their own 27-yard line. This time out of the gun. Motion left to right goes Ishimura out of the left slot. Looking to go long. Pumps once. Forced to scramble. Puts up. He got a man open, and it is caught by Ishimura out at the 43-yard line. First down.
what a catch by Ish. Boy, I tell you, he's double covered on the sideline. The safety was coming over. Brown throws it up, lets his player get a chance, and he goes up and just snatches it out of midair. What a catch by Ishimura on the far side. That is just a huge play. Get that first down, and you get some momentum going now on the offensive side.
So 1st and 10. Raiders now at their own 43-yard line, down to 3:40 remaining third quarter, and Frontenac leading at 14-0. Couple of wideouts left, slot right, and there's the give. That is to Alex Johnson. Boy, he was stuck in there by Tommy Schallenberger, stopped for no gain.
Yeah, and that's where those middle linebackers love it. They want to play between the tackles. They're much better on the inside. Read and react extremely well. This just an ISO play. Too much on the inside, and Johnson gets lit up. Did see Strain went back in that last play, so certainly not kicked out of the game and back in there.
I guess that was the cooling off period, apparently. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders, now at their own 42-yard line. See if they can get something going offensively with 2:57 left third quarter. Good snap, give, dive right up the middle. Boy, nothing. And boy, hit a brick wall. Trying to see who that was. Clothier.
Yeah, but again, it's straight up the middle, and the Raiders have just not had any success running up the middle tonight. And back-to-back plays. Odd play calls, maybe setting something else up, as Coach Smith is very good at setting things up for later in the game. Maybe that's what those last 2 play calls were for.
So the Raiders facing a 3rd and 12. Football just outside their own 40-yard line again. Out of the gun, Brown by himself. Motion left to right, Alex Johnson fakes the give, looking to scramble. Well, Brown's goal, the release. He's trying to get the defender, running back, or the wide receiver to release. He was one-on-one, and he come back and try and block, and didn't get a block, and he's able, nice effort to pick up about 8, but could have been a lot better.
Well, and that's just tough, because you got the receiver who's thinking about, I can still make a play, and the quarterback who's been throwing the ball on those rollouts all year long, he points like he wants a block. Because if Ginnivan makes a block out there, he's still running down the sideline right now. But, he's still expecting I'm going to catch a pass. So that's just tough communication, a tough break for the Raiders.
And punting, Trey Harris, good snap. Stanley back to get it, not much pressure, high snap, get her covered. Looking for the football, boy, it bounced by one of the Titans, and it is down at the 30. So good job there as the Titans will start 1st and 10 from their own, well, he marked it back about the 29. I don't think he got near the 29, I tell you the truth. He fell out at about the 30. So
the ball might have landed there, but that's not where you're supposed to spot the ball.
So anyway,
at all.
1st and 10, Titans from their own 29-yard line. They lost a yard in that exchange, and minute 25 left third quarter in Frontenac with that 14-0 lead. Coming wide to the right, that is Saporito. Out wide to the left side goes Robinson. Slot left is Sears. Smith, the running back, flanked by, or the quarterback flanked by the running backs. And there's a little swing pass to the left side, and boy, avoid the first tackle, but not the second. Mays. Boy, good job by Cooper Loy. He got by him, but it held him up, and Mays mopped it up.
And again, outside contain. He doesn't let the man get around him. He doesn't make the tackle, but he turns him in, and right there was Mays to absolutely plant him into the ground.
And we got one of the Raiders on the ground, apparently shaken up. And
I think that's Cummins.
Yeah, I think that's right. Drew Cummins, boy, he's been playing well. Kind of, early on in the season wasn't getting much playing time, and he came on there about a third of the way through, and he's been one of the main men in there in that, especially the defensive line.
Yeah, absolutely. Has played very well at defensive tackle. Spent most of his time in the backfield once he got his opportunity. The senior finally getting the opportunity, and he's made the best of it. And I think they may be looking at his knee. We'll hope it's nothing serious.
as he is prone at the 30. The trainer out there looking at him, along with head coach Mark Smith, with 1:10 left here in the third quarter. In Frontenac, 14-0 lead. Titans will face a 2nd and 12 from their own 27-yard line. So,
well, and I think the Raiders withstood the emotion that Columbus came out with at the beginning of this third quarter. I think they withstood that very well. Yes, got a little lucky on the drop pass on 4th down, but they get the stop. Picked up a couple of first downs, but the defenses continued to play well. So hopefully they can continue. And Cummins now hops up, and he's limping, but he is coming off on his own, under his own power. So that should be a good sign for Cummins. Hopefully nothing serious. He can shake this off and get back in the trenches.
So the Cummins to the sideline and be checking him out. Again, he's been playing very well, and hopefully nothing serious. Titans 2nd and 12 from their own 27-yard line. 1:10 left here, third quarter. Again, the Raiders with the 14-0 lead. Running backs in the eye behind Smith, who's under the center this time. And dropping back to pass, looking to throw over the middle. And boy, he's hit his ball in. No! Shamir had it in his hands, and he couldn't come up with it.
Well, he plays on the offensive line probably for a reason. This ball tipped up. They were trying to go deep again, which they really didn't have anybody open deep. The quarterback just throwing it up for grabs. He gets hit as he throws. The ball pops straight up in the air. It's coming down to Ishimura and no one around him. It's a pretty, relatively easy pick, and it just goes right through his hands. And that would have been a huge play to get a turnover there.
And again, some defensive pressure there, not giving Smith much time. I mean, it looked like he was dead set, looking over the middle, going to launch it long, and ran out of time and almost picked. Trips to the right side. One wide out left. Smith looking to throw. Forced a scramble, and he is hit, and he is going to be brought down. Mays riding him out of bounds. And Ginnivan was there in a penalty flag. I guess the area hold?
It's got to be a hold, but you had 3 Raiders. You had Ginnivan, you had Mays, and I think Pyle off the other end. All 3 putting instant pressure. They ran Stanley out of the backfield into the flat, and I thought for sure this is where the ball's going to go because he had open field, and he never, Ridge Smith never looked at him. Never even looked over that way, looked deep the whole time. And, the Raiders defense, one thing you can say all year, their pass rush has been excellent all year long. And when Columbus is trying to throw deep, it's just too much time. He doesn't have that much time to stand back there and wait for these guys to run down the field.
So a punting situation. And again, back to punt. Tommy Schallenberger back to receive. The kick this time is Jake Wilbert. And we don't want to take any chances here with 48 seconds left here in the third quarter. Going to get good field position and leading 14-0. No mistakes, good snap, some pressure. They tried to block it. Boy, a bad punt. Went just over to the Columbus bench. And Raiders going to have excellent field position. Some pressure. Was that Alex Johnson pressure in the punter? Came in from that right side and the left-footed punter.
Yeah, and just if nothing else, I think a distraction. And I think the pressure probably did cause the punt off the side of the foot. So, yeah, the Raiders starting. What is that, about the 37-yard line?
37, yes, indeed, with 48 seconds left here in the third quarter. In Frontenac, the 14-0 lead. The Raiders 1st and 10 from the Titans 37. Wide right goes Ginnivan. Slot right is Ishimura. Tight to left side, Roseboro. Couple blocking backs with Brown out of the gun. Give to Wilbert. And, boy, he stood up, and this time he didn't make the cut and got nothing.
Well, again, ISO up the middle, and that just has not been there all game. Now, I understand maybe you're just running the football, wanting that clock to run and run and run and run, but at the same time, we got to get some yards with it as well. Now, the Raiders technically do not have to run another play. They can let the quarter run out, but I think they are going to line up and snap the ball again.
2nd and 11 for Frontenac. From the Columbus 38-yard line. Single setback, Wilbert behind Brown. Pitch, sweep, left side. Got around the corner, needs a block, and he is brought down at the 34.
Yeah, So they'd gone inside. This time they go to the outside, and I really thought he had it to the corner. He decided to cut it up, which he's done very successfully tonight, so I can't blame him for this. But this might have been the one time, if he gets to the edge, I think he had it and would have been a bigger play. Regardless, though, good play for the Raiders.
Now
and
accepting
a real good
new
third quarter.
And the end of the third quarter, head to the fourth quarter, and Frontenac with 14 in the lead. We're to keep it here as go through that scoreless third quarter. The Raiders with 2-touchdown lead and the football, and I think no questions, this is 4-down territory where they are right now.
Oh, no doubt. Unless you get another big negative play or something like that, but I would think Coach Smith's got to be figuring, I got 2 plays to get this. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw even another running play, try to get to the outside again. Columbus they have double teamed, shaded over the safety way over now to get him inside, trying to take those quick throws away. The one way you can do that is let him run an out pattern, which he did on his touchdown. He ran an out. You can still get away from it. You might not get a touchdown, but it's probably you can get enough to move the sticks, which right now possession is really what Frontenac needs, and let that clock run.
So 3rd and 7, Raiders. From the Titans' 34-yard line as we start the fourth quarter. Frontenac with a 14-0 lead. See if the Raiders can get this 7 yards in a couple of plays, keep this drive going, keep that clock moving. As Ginnivan comes wide to the right. Also out wide to the right is Alex Johnson and Ishamira. Out of the gun, Brown. Single blocking back to his right. Well, they swing it to Ishamira, needs a block, and boy, he is going to be hemmed in and brought down. And boy, actually lost a couple.
Yeah, and that makes it tough what to decide to do because, you're just at the 36, and it's going to be 4th and 9. That's a tough call as to whether go for it or punt, and I think they're probably going to punt this ball away. Every now and then you just take the ball and go forward and get what you can get, and I thought a little too much dancing that time by Ishamura. Just get what you can, and we'll live to fight another day, and not every play can be a touchdown.
So a punting situation, Harris back there, and they're playing it safe. Good snap, needs to get away, does, a high, now get it covered. Somebody get down there and stop that thing from going in the end zone. They got it, and it is loose and brought down at the 7-yard line. Nice effort, I believe. Was that Ishamira?
It was Ishamira. I would be very interested to know if the ball crossed the line or not, because it's not the player in high school, it's the ball. I would almost bet Frontenac just got a break because he jumped up and was in the end zone when he hit the ball. But this officiating crew, who knows?
Well, the guy on this side where it was, he usually is give or take a yard, so if it was a yard in, that probably doesn't count.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll take it. A great effort by Ishamura, though, and very athletic play, jumping and able to bat it.
So the Titans start 1st and 10 from their own 7-yard line with 11:06 left, and Frontenac still at 14-0 lead. Stanley is wide right. Out wide to the left is Sears. Now in motion left to right. With football, they give it to Dye. That's Walden, boy, and he got hit. And he still bouncing around in there, and boy, he's still going. He about got out of there, and he finally brought down about the 17-yard line.
And I see Mays down, and he's had a bad shoulder, and he's holding his shoulder laying on the ground right now, which he hit the ball carrier 3 times. He got him first in the backfield and got a good pop on him, but wasn't able to latch on. Didn't give up on the play, came back, bounced off once, went for one more time in the big pile, and I think kind of got his arm caught in a bad spot. So I know he's had that bad shoulder.
Yeah, and he had missed a Labette County game with that, and was able to come back and play something against Parsons, play well, but I know it was kind of irritating him, and so yeah, he stuck him. But I'll tell you what, Walden, good-looking running back, and only a sophomore, 5'9", 171. He's a load, and boy, he took about 3 or 4 good shots and able to pick up 9 yards.
Well, and the problem here, I mean, you hate to have Mays come out of the game at all, but Cummins is also standing on the sideline. That's both of your starting defensive tackles now, who have both been playing extremely well. both standing on the sideline, and Cummins is standing up, doesn't have his helmet, and still limping a little bit, so doesn't look like he's going to return. Mays, I have a feeling, will be more of can he deal with the pain. It would be the question whether he can return into the game or not. So now you've got a couple different defensive tackles. They're going to have to play big.
So 2nd and 1 Titans from their own 16-yard line. Again, out of the gun, Smith. Single running back behind him. Rolling to the right, looking to throw. And, boy, he put it up, and it is caught.
No!
They say he caught it out at the 30-yard line.
That ball hit the ground. Oh, my goodness. I don't think there's any question that ball hit the ground. But they are giving him the catch. I tell you, give Ridge Smith some credit, though, because he took an absolute shot from Clothier just as he was releasing the ball. But I don't agree with this. I am really curious to see the film on this and see if that ball hit the ground, because it sure looked like it did.
1st and 10 Titans from their own 30 with 10:24 remaining. Clock's moving. Raiders lead at 14-0. Stanley wide left. Sears in the slot left joins him out there. Single setback, Walden behind the quarterback, Smith. And they give to Walden. He's hemmed in. Now he reverses his field, tries to turn the right corner, and does, and still on his feet. And he's got the first down out to the 41. Nice effort there. Well defended, but just a good effort by the running back.
Yeah, Ishimura hit the hole again on the blitz, ran right into it, caused him to reverse field, and the backside, it all got pushed down. So he had the corner when he reversed his field.
So 1st and 10. Now is there a player down over on the far side?
There must be. I think it's the running back, is it not? I believe so. Yeah, it's Walden over there.
It's apparently shaken up on the tackle along the sideline over in front of the Columbus bench, and
that can
nice
happen.
effort there.
As hard as he's been running and fighting for every yard, sometimes that happens too. Sometimes you fumble it. Sometimes you take just too many shots.
And I see Mays is up there. He's getting antsy, wanting to get back in there, so that shoulder apparently feeling better.
Yeah, like I said, I think with Mays, it's just a question of, how much pain is he willing to put himself through and deal with. The little I've been told about his shoulder. So
I think that's one of the things. It's one of those, you get dinged, it'll hurt. You got the pain. I don't know about structurally, but he's able to play and apparently took a shot on it. Tough kid, but he's back in there.
And a wrestler, an all-state, or not all-state, but made the state tournament the last 2 years. Mays has made the state tournament, so a tough kid indeed.
So Titans with a 1st and 10. Football at their own 41-yard line with 10:06 remaining, and Frontenac with a 14-0 lead. Sears in motion right to left, flashes in front of the quarterback, and they try the reverse, heading to the left side as he's hemmed in, nothing doing, and he is brought down back at the 38-yard line. A little trickery, and boy, one of the Titans down trailing the play, and boy, one of the Raiders going to tended to him. Something must have happened, and that is Jordan Ishimura telling one of the big guys to stay down. He apparently hurt a knee. Boy, that was well defended. They tried the double reverse and didn't fool him.
I tell you, when the reverse happened, when the handoff was made, I was getting nervous because they had it. Jake Wilbert with a phenomenal play from the free safety. He sees it and then just like shot out of a cannon came up, and he's the one that makes the play, slowed everything down enough where the cavalry could come. But, boy, Wilbert with a heck of a defensive play, because I think they had the numbers on the far side if he can get there in time.
And Wilbert's good play, and then, like you said, the cavalry came. There was a number of them following it up and made a good defensive play. And, boy, one of the Titans, who is that? Is that Tucker Coble? One of their linemen.
I believe you're right.
And boy, he's being helped to the side, apparently with a leg injury. And boy, I hate to see that. And I really didn't see it. It was about 15 yards downfield, so I don't know exactly what happened. I was watching the ball carrier over along the far sideline.
I think he got locked up with the defender, and the defender eventually kind of threw him to the side and maybe twisted his knee when that happened.
2nd and 13, Titans from their own 38-yard line down to 9:33 remaining. Frontenac the 14-0 lead. Out of the gun, Smith. He's rolling. Some pressure. Boy, they got the screen set up. Boy, nice play by Trey Harris. Nothing there. Boy, they were trying to set up the screen. You can bank on that when you play the Titans, and they got Stanley, and he got about a yard.
Well, I've been waiting on it. They finally call it, and now they've got a flag down here, a holding against Columbus. But I tell you, Harris with a great read, because they got rush out of the other 3 down linemen, but Harris stayed home, came off the block, and got into Stanley just as he caught the ball. So an excellent play by Harris, and now they've got holding against Columbus, and looks like Frontenac's accepting the penalty, taking them back, and this is going to set up second and very long.
So well defended there, and let's see, you're talking about a second and about 23 for the Titans from their own 27-yard line. Trying to get the clock moving. It's at 9:14, but we're winding it, but yeah, there we go. Stanley now goes wide to the right. Sears out there with him. Out of the gun, Smith. Dropping back to pass. Getting some pressure, and they finally runs out of time, and good effort there, and incomplete. Oh, the guy on the far side threw the flag. The one right in front of him here passed on it.
Yeah, he's calling this from about 40 yards away with another official about 10 yards away. They're going to call pass interference. Now, this should be a 15-yard penalty. Now, it has not been an automatic first down in previous weeks, so we'll see.
That's
what
not
happens.
A spot foul. You got to go back and, yeah, I think the White Hats maybe knows the rule book better than the guy who threw the flag. I think he's trying to give him the ball right there. You had the official on this near side right in front of him. You could see it, and the other one from the far side over in front of the Columbus bench decides to get in the action here and finally throw a flag, and he calls the pass interference.
Now, I will say it was close. It was very close. I just don't like the fact of who threw the flag from that far away is the issue.
And after the mark-off, the Titans will have the football, their own 42-yard line, facing a 2nd and 9 after that. So
a crazy couple of plays.
Any event, back to football. Smith out of the gun. Titans 2nd and 9 from their own 42. Pumps once. Pressure. Boy, he is hit. Puts it up for grabs, and it is caught down at, no, incomplete. No, he gave them the catch.
Yeah, they gave him the catch, and this is a heck of a throw because you sneak it in between the corner and the safety coming over, and there's a very small window to get that ball in there, and Ridge Smith is able to do it just before Wilbert, the free safety, can get over there. Now, Wilbert popped up and said incomplete right away. I have no idea. No. And isn't this crew short?
They're short.
An official as well, so maybe this has something to do with tonight as well.
1st and 10 Titans from the Raiders 37. Pressured against Smith, and this time they're going to get Amazing on it, and he's helped out by Ishimura, and he is thrown back all the way back. Well, let's see the beanbag. They're going to give him about 5 extra yards. Now, they're going to give it up to the 46-yard line. This is that's
whoa! Oh my goodness! Wait, that's a gain. They just gave him a gain of a yard.
They gave him 2 yards.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you got to they gave him extra yards on that. Come on, you got to get that spot right. You're about 5 yards behind that.
Well, I don't understand why the side judge is not marking any of these quarterback sacks or anything like this. Why they're allowing the White Hat to throw a beanbag to mark it, because it's not close.
2nd and 15. Titans from the 43 of the Raiders looking to pass. Got a man open, and it is complete. And that is, who is it? Saporito on the receiving end, brought down at the 33-yard line.
And Chance does a good job of coming up on it. And, Chance he's not as quick as Ishimura on that outside, so he's got to give a little bit more cushion than Ishimura does. So he gives the cushion and gives up the completion, but comes up and does make a sure tackle and does a good job with that.
Big 3rd and 6 for the Titans from the 34 of the Raiders. And they're going to keep the football, and that is Stanley out of the Wildcat, and he's down to the 30 short of the first down.
And I swear the quarterback was moving forward when that ball was snapped, but the direct snap to him, pretty well defended. Ishimura comes up, outside contained, does a good job, then sets up. Up to this point, the biggest play in the game, at 4th and a long 3. Raiders get a stop here. There's under 7 minutes to go. We'll go a long way to being able to run this clock out and walk out of here with a W.
4th and 3, Titans from the Raiders 30. 6:43, clock's moving. Frontenac leads at 14-0. Smith out of the gun, flanked by a couple running backs, and they give it to Stanley up the middle, and boy, he dives and got the first down to the 25. Boy, he almost dropped the football.
Yeah, good hard run because he gets contacted in the backfield, but is big and strong enough that he can end up making that first down. Linebacker just wasn't blitzing in the right hold that time. We've hit that right more times than not tonight. This time, linebacker doesn't get it, so he's able to stretch out and get that first down.
Clock's moving down to 6:25. 1st and 10. Titans from the Raiders 25. Looking to throw Smith. They got a quick out. It's complete, and he is planted at the 20. And on the receiving end, Saporito. A nice effort by Ishimura once again.
Good break on the ball. You give just a little bit of cushion. You know, I know it's 5 yards, but that's 5 yards we can live with.
2nd and 5. Titans from the Raiders 20. Down to 6:03 remaining. With the football. There's the give. That's Stanley, nothing. He's dropped to 19 after a gain of 1.
I think that's Mays again. Got into his legs before he could get going. The Raiders have done a good job tackling Stanley tonight. There have not been a ton of missed tackles. He's not ran over people or anything like that. The Raiders have been physical with him. They've gone low, and then they've popped him as well. So they played against this very good running back extremely well tonight.
3rd and 4. Titans from the Raiders 19. Smith out of the gun. Gives it up the middle, and with the first down, and trying to see who carried the ball down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, and I think that's a case where the defense is expecting Stanley to carry the ball most often. So they give it to the other back, a little bit of element surprise, and they're able to get the first down. Now let's get that clock going. Finally, they wind the clock.
1st and 10, Titans from the Raiders' 12-yard line. Porter and Stanley, the running backs, flank Smith. There's a give. That's Porter once again, and he is dragged down after he crosses the 10 down to the 9. Nice effort by Loy, open field tackle there.
Yeah, because it looked like he had something to the outside through the hole, and Loy comes up, makes that sure tackle into his legs. So a nice play, limits that to just 2 or 3 yards.
2nd and 7. Titans from the Raiders 9, down to 4:53 remaining with the direct snap, and Smith's going to keep it. Tries the middle, nothing there. Boy, the middle of the defensive line just threw him back, maybe got a yard.
Yeah, and they have not gotten much with Smith keeping it and running. They've done better, really, not even with Stanley, when they've given it to the third back in the backfield.
3rd and let's call it about 6 for the Titans from the Raiders 8. Down to 4:25, clock's moving.
Well, and they're taking their time on this 3rd down call.
Again, Frontenac, that 14-0 lead. Again, Porter and Stanley. Porter, the fullback, and tailback is Stanley behind Smith. Motion left to right. Wide receiver Saporito left. There's the give, and boy, not much there. It is dropped at the 6 after a gain of only a couple for Stanley.
And it's Loy coming around from the outside again, using outside leverage, gets into his legs. Think that was Strand in there as well. Did a good job in setting up this 4th down, and about 5 yards to go. The last 4th down was the biggest play. Now again, this one, biggest play of the game up to this point.
Clock's moving, 3:40 remaining. Frontenac 14-0 lead. Columbus a 4th and 5 from the Frontenac 7. Again, the running backs. Porter, Stanley, flank Smith. A quick hit, right side, that is Stanley, the swing pass, he's going to score.
Well, Wilbert reads the play very well and came up to get him, and give Stanley credit for the cut that he made on Wilbert. Makes the tackler miss, and then there's nobody else there, and he goes and strolls into the end zone from there. And finally, they tried that little swing pass out of the backfield, been kind of waiting on that too. So Columbus finally on the board with just 3:24 left in the game.
And assuming they'll go for 2. 3:24 left, 14-6, Frontenac lead. Titans will go for 2. And there's a little pop pass, and it is complete. A little trickery is they who did they actually snap that to? That was Walden, and he did a little jump pass, and the 2-point conversion good. 3:24 remaining. Frontenac leads Columbus 14-8. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
Now accepting new clients. At the Pet Care and Surgery Center, Dr. James Clark believes all of our pets deserve kind, humane, and loving treatment. From a simple checkup or rabies vaccination to performing major surgery. Plus, Dr. Clark has boarding, grooming, nutrition, and wellness checkups. Dr. James Clark can provide that loving member of your family with the treatment they deserve. Call 620-308-6454 to set up an appointment or simply visit petcarecenter.org. Pet Care and Surgery, making a difference.
Rob Strand back with Randy Southard. We have 3:24 remaining here at the Raiders Sports Complex. Frontenac leads Columbus 14-8. Titans to kick off. And teeing it up is Tommy Schallenberger. And boy, they got some new faces in there. I guess you call it the hands team, as they're expecting the onside kick attempt. With 3:24 remaining, and Frontenac the 6-point lead. That is not Schallenberger who's handling the kicking. That's Eddington. Boy, he pops it up. And Rayo going to take it, and he avoids the first tackler. He's on his feet. He drops down to the 35-yard line. Wise choice.
Sorry if you heard me going no about that during the play there, because I was sitting there thinking, fair catch it. You know, just secure the football, and then he starts to come across the field and, like, just go down and smartly gets down and preserves possession. So 3:19 on the clock, 2 timeouts for Columbus. You would think two first downs probably should do it.
So we shall see here as the Raiders start 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Brown out of the gun. Wilbert, the running back, sets up behind him. Low snap, gives it to Wilbert. He spins, and boy, he stopped and lost a yard.
And again, it's that up the middle stuff. It's just not been there all night long.
And the clock moving down to 3:05. Raiders facing a second, and that's called 11 from their own 34-yard line.
Now, depending on what happens after this play, it'll be interesting to see if Columbus elects to take their timeouts now. You know, if they get if they set up 3rd down, they may elect to call timeout now. Hope they can stop the Raiders on 3rd down and force the punt, call out timeout again.
Ginnivan comes wide right. Chastain wide to left. Wilbert slot right. Gunn, Brown with the blocking. Low snap. Brown puts it up, no, and it is incomplete.
Well, and that stops the clock. You know, I don't mind the pass play, but that has to be a sure completion. And he throws it where he had a small window to get the ball in and then hummed it. The receiver, not a lot of chance to catch that one. And again, it stops the clock with the incomplete pass. So now you've got 3rd and 11. 2:33 on the clock, and you almost figure the Raiders almost have to run the football here to keep the clock going and force Columbus to call timeout.
And Frontenac decides to call the timeout. 2:33 remaining. Frontenac 14-8 lead. The Raiders face a 3rd and 11 from their own 34-yard line. So, yeah, the wheels are turning, and boy, the Raiders are in good shape there. Couldn't get that stop. And then gave a touchdown and 2-point conversion. And boy, instead, needed a couple, like you said, first downs. And bad start, and now they're facing 3rd and 11.
And you'd almost figure this has to be a passing situation. Now, I know the coverage has been rotating towards Ginnivan, but he is your best receiver and your best option. I think if you throw the football, this ball needs to get in the hands of your big wide receiver and let him make a catch and make a play, convert this first down and get that clock going. And, you know, really, if they get one more first down, it's going to be hard for Columbus.
But the Raiders do need 11 yards here.
At the same time, you may see jet sweep action as well. And even if you don't make it, you are at least forcing Columbus to take one of their timeouts. But honestly, you know, with 2.5 minutes to go, that's an awful lot of time, you know, because with the clock stoppages on offense, that's, I don't know.
Out of the gun, Brown. Wilbert, the running back behind him. They rolled the snap to him. option, looking to throw, pressured, pitches it back to Wilbert, trying to turn the corner, and he is brought down at the 42, about 4 yards shy of a first down.
Yeah, pretty good job by Brown, and then Wilbert very smartly stays in bounds. He does not run out of bounds, and I don't know why they have stopped the clock unless Columbus has called timeout.
Well, that's what I'm assuming. They're not looking at the first down. They must have taken a timeout. The coaches are over. What is going on?
I have no idea.
Get the clock going. This is ridiculous. Now they're talking. But the one's saying stop the clock, the other's roll the clock. I don't know. Apparently Columbus called a timeout. That'd be my guess. Oh, wow. This is interesting.
It's been a struggle. Now, I would assume you almost have to punt this ball, I would think. It would be very tempting to go for it because if you make another first down, this game is essentially over. But it's also 4th and 4 from your own 42. I don't know if Coach Smith, I mean, he's got a lot of guts and a bit of a gambler at times, but this would be an awfully big gamble to try to go for it on this one.
So the wheels turning, coaches talking to their players huddled around him in front of their benches. Down to 2:16 left, Frontenac the 14-8 lead, and the Raiders with 4th and 4 from their own 42-yard line. Assuming they're going to punt, we shall see here. And you know Columbus has played it safe the last couple. You know, thinking that
they're not this
time. They're not going to this time. Stanley's going to drop back.
So maybe this is the time to actually pull off the fake. Who knows? What a football game tonight. Oh, my goodness. This game just never disappoints.
So Stanley back to receive the kick. Up short is Sears. Trey Harris stands back in his own 28-yard line. Oh, good snap. Get the punt away. He does short punt. Short punt off the side of his foot, right side. Boy, and it's going to, well, they say it hit out of bounds about the 32-yard line. It looked like about where it hit. And they'll tell them where they're spotted. They're going to put it back at the 29-yard line. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is baffling.
It's to say the least, been a struggle all night for this 4.
Yeah. Well,
and that's a shame. As good a football game as this has been tonight, it kind of puts a damper on the whole thing. It's kind of a shame. But here we go. 2:08 on the clock. The Raiders with a 14-8 lead. 1 timeout remaining for Columbus. You would think they've got to go through the air at this point.
Titans 1st and 10. Football just shy of their own 30-yard line. Porter goes in motion. There's a penalty flag. Did they have 2 men moving?
False start. I believe the left tackle, moved.
So that'll push them back 5. So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Titans from their own 25 with 2:08 remaining in front of a 14-8 lead. Got 3 split right. We've got Smith, the quarterback, will be out of the gun and flanked by Stanley along with Porter, who is in there, spelling Walden, who had a nice night till he got shaken up. Stanley gets the play from the sideline, steps up, he's out of the gun. 1st and 15 Titans from their own 25. Now in motion, right to left goes Porter. They're trying to swing it, going long over the middle and putting it up for grabs. It's going to be picked off. Ishamir comes down with it as the 40-yard line. It'll be Raiders 1st and 10 from their 40. Now regain your composure here, boys. We need to get the ball.
Well, honestly, I was watching the official. The official closest to it never called him down, even though he slid to
down.
catch the ball, because then Ishamira just drops the ball, and I thought the official was looking, wonder who's going to pick it up.
Okay.
But, the ball overthrown, by the way, and Ishamira showed very good speed cutting across, making the sliding catch. Pressure by the other Ishamira, by Jordan, the older brother. He gets the pressure, forces the long throw. Brendan Ishamira with the pick. Now 1 timeout left, only can stop the clock once for Columbus. We'll see if the Raiders can get something on the ground. 1 first down definitely ends it now.
Raiders 1st and 10 from their own 40. Out of the gun is Brown. Gets a snap, gives it to Wilbert. He's got the first down and more. He's loose, midfield, 40. It's a foot race, 30, 20. He's to the 10, 5.
Touchdown Raiders! And they finally bust one open up the middle. They go ISO again. They've been running it all night long. It's been stuffed every single time all night long. The line on the left side finally gives him a crease. Columbus is selling out everything up to the line, so once he gets through the line of scrimmage, there's nobody there. And then it outruns the defense to the far corner. Holy crap. What a play by the Frontenac Raiders. And the line getting it done at the end.
Minute 48 remaining. Frontenac the 20-8 lead and the extra point attempt coming up.
Now they're going to go for 2, it looks like.
A little late, tardy come from the side. Of course, the play clock not going, so yeah, the Raiders will go for 2.
What a football game tonight.
Wide left Ginnivan, wide right Ishimura. Now they want the ball put on the left hash. And Brown will be out of the gun with Lloyd the blocking back and Wilbert behind him.
I'm wondering this could be throwback to the tight end.
And rolling right is Brown. Oh, and he underthrew it. He had Roseboro open and he underthrew it. 2-point conversion couldn't attempt fails, but the Raiders.
Shouldn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it shouldn't matter. You have a 20-8 lead with just a minute 48 to go in this game. And the way the Raiders defense has played tonight, they should be in good shape, barring something very strange happening in the last minute 48.
And you obviously I don't believe you risk trying to put it in the end zone. I would say you probably try and squib it along the sideline somewhere, maybe a
little pooch kick down to about the 20 or 25-yard line, I think would be just about perfect. They've not kicked it to Stanley deep. Well, the one time, but it was almost like a squib or maybe a miss-hit. The one time they kicked it down the middle, and Stanley bobbled the ball, which gave the Raiders time to get on him. So,
yeah, you can't risk that long return on this kickoff up by a dozen with a minute 48 remaining.
And even if you give them the ball on the 25, 30, even the 35, who cares?
And then if you put a lot of stock in your kicker, I think guaranteed he could put it in the end zone for the touchback, and that'd be a lot of pressure, I guarantee you. Stanley's back there. Joined by Porter.
I'm thinking down here where one of the officials is standing on the 20-yard line would be right.
Oh, he kicked it deep. Away. And he stepped in the end zone.
He's in the end zone.
That's a touchback. Whoa. So the Titans will start from their own 20. Big kick by Harris there. Got him in the end zone.
So maybe Coach Smith must have a little more faith in him than we did up here. Again, Coach Smith is the guts of a gambler, I'm telling you. But it works out.
1st and 10. Titans will start from their own 20 with a minute 48 remaining. Frontenac leads at 20-8, and the Titans with one timeout. Coming wide to the left is Sean Robinson along with Alan Jones. Got a couple wide outs right side. Single blocking back is Stanley behind Smith. With the snap, looking to throw. Oh, he's pressuring. Ishimura had him, and he is sacked back inside the 10 by Giffen. As Ishimura put the pressure on him, he kind of stumbled, and Giffen mopped it up.
Yeah, they were trying to get Stanley kind of a little bit of a rollout to the right and then throw it back to him on the left side. Well defended. There's I'm not sure which guy it was right on him on the outside. And then Ishimura hits him, and he looks like he's trying to throw it, so he doesn't wrap him up. Ginnivan ends up mopping it up, but good disciplined defense knowing where Stanley is on the field.
2nd and 22 for the Titans from their own 8 after that loss. Smith, they swing it out to the left side, and on the receiving end, Sears keep him in bounds, knocked him down. Loy throws him down after a gain of a couple.
What a game Cooper Loy has played on defense tonight, making play after play. This time doesn't just turn him in, but he makes the tackle on his own as well. Frontenac had excellent pursuit on that play. Ishimura was coming up from the corner with good outside leverage too. They had that play blanketed.
3rd and 19 for the Titans from their own 11-yard line. Boy, we're down to 37 seconds, and Raiders at 12-point lead. Out of the gun, Smith looking to throw. Gets a little pressure, finally flushed out, and he's scrambling right side, puts it up for grabs, and then sails out of bounds. Boy, nice pressure once again. There's been pressure all night. Mays once again right there.
Yeah, and that was just good coverage downfield. The Raiders rushed 5, brought 1 linebacker on the blitz. Everybody else was back in coverage. Nowhere to really throw the football. Once he got to the outside, really just threw it away.
And 23 seconds left, and the Raiders up by 12. It looks, are they going to punt?
They might be punting right here. I mean, it is 4th and forever. And, you know, they ran those plays with no sense of urgency at all,
Well,
almost
then,
as if they were kind of giving this game up anyway.
Then what you do here is safe, obviously. You know, look, seeing they may have something in mind. Boy, they're coming in all from all over on the sideline as Porter comes in, makes a sprint into the line. Again, dropping back to kick. That was Schellenberger standing at the goal line. And a low snap comes up with the left footer, booms it out of there, and it's off the side of his foot over to the Raiders bench. And well, they're getting a little shaking it up here.
What a victory for the Frontenac Raiders over the Columbus Titans tonight.
Whoa.
What a performance. Easily the best football game this team has played all year on both sides of the ball. They were unbelievable on defense tonight. They really held Stanley in check. I'm not sure how many yards he does have.
I've got him for 40.
That's it. No big plays at all. Everything that Columbus got, they earned. Phenomenal on defense, and the offensive side of the ball really did enough tonight. Played well enough and did enough to win. Just a tremendous performance by this team tonight.
1st and 10 Raiders from the Titans 35, 16 seconds left, and Frontenac going to cap a 20-8 victory. They do. There's Peyton Brown, the snap, and kneels, and the Raiders players and fans going to celebrate, and this is a big win. And
this is a huge win, and probably a win not a lot of people were expecting tonight. Columbus was the preseason #1 pick in the league. Their only loss to a really good Galena team in a close game. And they come to Frontenac tonight, I think, figuring they were probably going to mop up on some Raiders tonight, and it absolutely did not happen, not even close.
And
what a performance.
What a great win for the Raiders. And again, go to 5-3 and 2-0 in district play, heading to Baxter Springs next Friday, and the Raiders win at 20-8. The teams congratulating each other going through the line, and boy, a lot of Raiders and the Raiders fans going to be happy after this one. As I agree with you, most people getting in this one didn't think it was going to end up like this, and I guess the ones that mattered thought it was. So big win for the Raiders, and they're going to do some celebrating tonight, but I hope not too much because Mark will have them in there film about 7:30 tomorrow morning, I'm guessing, before the sub-state volleyball.
I know some of them, including your son, Rob, really don't need to be dancing out there. I just saw him dance, and I was like, oh.
He's got a temperament of his mom, and he dances like his mom. Hey, we'll have Mark Smith up here. Take a look at the unofficial stats scoring summary, and that and more after we take about a 30-second break. And Raiders win at 20-8. You're listening to Frontenac Football on 103.5 FM.
It's a feeling you get the moment you step on campus.
It's the knowledge that you've become part of something more.
We're a family of crimson and gold.
Every day we challenge ourselves to achieve more.
The reason why we're here is to make a difference.
Everybody wants to stand out.
Without standing apart.
You belong.
At Pittsburgh State University.
Since 1945, Tri-State Building has been helping build the four-state area, providing quality construction services and dependability at competitive prices. Tri-State Building has a reputation as a general contractor and an authorized Butler builder, which holds experience, quality, and reliability above all other considerations. Tri-State Building has built a multitude of projects and is your full-service design build contractor that can take you from concept to grand opening. For an honest and proven contractor, call us, Tri-State Building.
What's the buzz around Community National Bank and Trust? They're talking mobile banking, instant issue debit cards, rewards checking and credit cards, and let's not forget e-power checking, paying better than CD-like rates on a checking account, plus nationwide ATM fee refunds. Get in on the buzz. Community National Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Touchdowns. Peyton Brown, 8 carries for 3 yards. Cooper Lloyd, 3 carries, -5. Alex Johnson, a couple of carries for a yard. And Gage Clothier, 1 carry, -2. Peyton Brown through the air, 6 completions, a dozen attempts, 100 yards, a touchdown. Was intercepted once. The Raiders did lose a couple of fumbles. And again, lost the turnover battle, but won the game 20-8. Scoring summary, first quarter, 5:45 remaining. 24-yard touchdown pass from Peyton Brown to Brock Ginnivan. Trey Harris good on the extra point. Frontenac led Columbus 7-0 with 5:45 left first quarter. That's the way the first quarter ended, with the Raiders a 7-point lead. Second quarter, 7:24 remaining. Jake Wilbur, 21-yard touchdown run. Trey Harris good on the extra point. That made it Frontenac 14, Columbus nothing with 7:24 remaining in the first half. That's the way it was at halftime. The Raiders with the 14-0 lead. Went through a scoreless third quarter, and then some fireworks in that fourth quarter. Columbus scored with 3:24 remaining, a 7-yard pass from Smith to Stanley. The 2-point conversion, a pass from Walden to Saporito. Frontenac led at 14-8 with 3:24 remaining in the fourth quarter, or in the game. And then minute 48 remaining, Jake Wilbert's 70-yard touchdown run. And the extra point attempt failed. Frontenac led at 20-8 with a minute 48 remaining. That's the final. Frontenac wins at 20-8. The Raiders improved to 5-3 overall, 2-0 in district play. The Titans fall to 6-2, and they are 1-1 in district play. And the Titans play Parsons on Friday. The Raiders go to Baxter Springs on Friday. And boy, it's got to be an excited group of Raiders with this win over the Titans. And just an excellent performance, best game they played.
By far, it's not even close. Defense absolutely dominant tonight. The one drive, I mean, it was well earned. They gave up no big plays whatsoever. Defense was phenomenal. The offense played well and did enough to win this football game. And when we really needed it, that offensive line came up with one more hole. Wilbur taking it to the house at the end of the, to seal the deal in this one. But just a phenomenal performance and beat a very good Columbus Titans football team. This makes going to make a lot of people more excited for the Raiders entering the playoffs, as it looks like the Raiders should end up making the playoffs one way or another at this point, with one being 2-0 in district, one game to go in a game that they should win. So they should be in the playoffs. I think this gives a lot of people much more better feelings about how the playoffs might go. And you look at Columbus, that's still a good football team over there, a very good football team, and it won't surprise me one bit, because they're probably going to make the playoffs as well. If they go and they make a run, they're still, up until now, the number 3 ranked team in the state. They've been ranked like that for a reason. So, tonight just makes, instead of one team out of this district looking like they can make some noise, I think you got 2 teams that can make some noise if the Raiders can start playing like this consistently.
And the Raiders seniors gathering down on the field for some picks, and I know they're excited about it on the senior night to get a big win over Columbus and the inside track on the district title, and of course some momentum heading into the hopefully into the playoffs. I don't know what the other score was tonight. I haven't seen it or anything, but in any event, I know just a big win, and I know the kids excited. And again, like I said, they'll probably get up bright and early, go watch some film, and then help out over at the sub-state volleyball. I think some of them are working there, but this is going to be, it'll be one of those where it's going to be easy to get up in the morning and watch that film, even though it's kind of early. And I did see Drew Cummins able to hobble over there, and I think he maybe had an ankle or a injury in the leg. But, all in all, big win for the Raiders. And I believe Coach Smith's coming up. We're trying to get some. I saw his dad, Chuck, was apparently roaming the sidelines down there, enjoying this one. I'm sure that he's excited. And, some of the Raiders fans celebrating down there. And I'm going to talk to Coach Smith. I may let you do that interview once I get going. I was, celebrate, see what the kids are. I know they got to be really excited about this one. And
sure, you're going to steal out of here.
No, I'm not.
I was going to do that to you, Rob.
I'm going to talk to him. I'll talk to him.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
As long as Will comes up, and that's the main thing.
He's going to take my job one of these days anyhow.
I know it. Yeah, he's got the inside track right now. He said goodbye without flinching. Did a great job the last game over at Parsons. So pretty exciting stuff. And, joining me is Frontenac Raiders head coach Mark Smith. And, I guess the all-important question is, how did the teachers' meeting go last night?
William got a good report.
Good. I just expect no less than that.
He acts better at school than home, so we're going to have to change home environment.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't change, so be prepared. We've gone through a lot of this. I know you got to be really excited about their performance tonight.
Oh, tremendous effort by our kids. I challenged them. We had to do it as a team tonight, especially the seniors come together as a group, and we finally clicked on everything. Offense, we were running the ball well. Defense played a tremendous game. They were very physical. Secondary did a great job. Got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Tons of sacks, tons of huge plays. It's just great to see our kids perform like that in a big game.
And, physical-wise, it looked like they were standing up that line and maybe much of the time getting the best of it. I mean, they were getting after it.
First half, I thought we did. We handled the line of scrimmage and won it. Second half, we had trouble running the ball a little bit. They're big. And, they started being a little more aggressive, but our kids just kept competing and found ways to make plays when we needed to.
And, both sides of the football, I guess you talked the three phases and pretty much check off on all three.
All three. Trey did a great job on kickoff. He had a few erratic punts, but he made him go the whole distance with our defense tonight. That was hard on him, so our defense was tremendous. Our offense complemented our defense, but like I've said all year, our defense is our backbone, and when they play like that, we can beat anybody.
And improved to 5-3, 2-0 in district. Head to Baxter on Friday for the big contest down there, and boy, this ought to be plenty of momentum heading south.
Oh, it's huge. We got a lot of work to do this week if we want to win the district championship. Baxter's very big, very physical. They're going to be ready to play, so I don't know how they did against Parsons tonight, but I think that'll be a pretty good game. But if we want to have another home game here in 2 weeks, we got to take care of business next week, and came out with the same intensity and focus as we did tonight.
And you knew it was going to be a physical game. I knew a few Nicks, and they were, a few kids coming off there. They were battling, and I know it's kind of early to find out what the injuries are, but I imagine some of the kids are going to be feeling it when they get up in the morning.
Yeah, they're going to be pretty sore tomorrow, but I think Drew, I don't know what he did to his knee. Hopefully it's nothing serious. He's been playing tremendous on the D-line. Mays hurt his shoulder again, but he kept battling. He played extremely hard and kept coming back in. So if we can get those guys both back for the playoffs, I'll be very happy about that.
They got film early or not?
We're going to go at 12:45 and then go watch the girls volleyball.
The volleyball, there you go. Sounds good. Okay, I appreciate you coming up here. Go celebrate. I saw your dad down there. I know he was pretty doggone excited to be down there with you. And big win. Head to Baxter next Friday. And Raiders knock off the Titans by a score of 28. Go celebrate. Appreciate you coming up here.
Thanks, Rob.
We'll be careful, bud. And, that'll about do it from the Raiders Sports Complex. Frontenac knocks off Columbus 20-8. And, again, 5-3 overall, 2-0 in district. Head to Baxter on Friday. And, of course, you'll hear all the Raiders games home and away on 103.5 FM, stream live at ESPN1007.com. Appreciate Taylor back at the stadium, or station, doing a great job on the board. And, of course, Randy Southard. And that'll about do it from the Raiders Sports Complex. Frontenac beats Columbus 20-8. And we'll do it again Friday from Baxter Springs.
I had no idea you did that.
That's what I said when I learned CDL does more than just electrical work. Like plumbing, heat and air, security cameras and alarms, generators, solar panels, even for my business.